This show is sponsored by Horizon HVAC, who you can count on for all of your heating and cooling needs. Today's episode is brought to you by Burns Roofing, your trusted roofing experts right here in Rhode Island. Whether you're in need of repairs, a roof full replacement, or just some professional advice, Burns Roofing has you covered. With their years of experience and commitment to quality, you can rest easy knowing your home is in good hands. Call Burns Roofing for all your roofing needs. We're here with I don't know how to say it. I was going to say the Reverdes, the Reverdes, or the Claytons, or the
Freemans.
The Freemans, like so. Let's start with Aaron. So we got Aaron Reverdes.
Yep.
Okay. How old are you?
27.
27.
Yep.
And so you're training at the gym right now. You guys have a gym?
Yep. Yeah. The trainer at the gym as well. It's a whole family ordeal over there. We have the whole family. I'm one of the trainers over there, and then I handle the social media marketing and stuff like that.
Oh,
Nice.
I love that.
Cool.
That's I love doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are how long you guys had the gym?
7 years now. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Wow.
7 years.
In Cranston?
Yeah. Yep. No, Johnston.
Okay.
Atwood Ave. Yep.
Nice.
45 Atwood Ave. If anyone wants to come by.
Yeah,
man.
we should.
Do you guys have any video? What's the name of it?
A&D Fitness.
A&D Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Ash, pull that up. Let's check out a couple videos.
So I do Adobe Express for a lot of my
I heard
regular.
Adobe's really good.
It is a little pricey,
Yeah.
but if you're really into editing, it could be very good. For editing, as far as videos go, you can use like Premiere and stuff like that.
Use CapCut at all?
CapCut, I'm not like the biggest fan of it. It's not very user friendly for me personally.
Yeah.
I kind of use other things.
Why, you think Adobe is actually more user friendly?
For edits like this, for videos, I don't do it on Adobe. I'll do it on Adobe is the Premiere, but I'll do it either on that or I do Splice. I use Splice a lot.
Yeah.
It's just what I'm used to. It's kind of,
do they have
again,
templates?
CapCut's great too. I've seen people do some insane edits on CapCut.
Yeah,
it's just that
nuts. Like,
I don't use
really good
CapCut
stuff.
personally. So when I go to use it, a lot of the stuff that I'm used to and transitions and all these types of other things that I can implement into my videos, I don't know how to find them. So then again, I would just have to go through it and
Do they have templates?
I'm on a time crunch with them. So it's like if I need to get a reel out, I gotta get a reel out.
Yeah,
and it's
true.
like if I need to, I don't have time to just kind of go and just play around with it, you know.
What is your reel schedule? Like, what do you stick to? Do you follow the algorithm? How do you decide when to post?
Honestly, they kind of give me complete freedom. I have sometimes have fallen into my old bad ways of just kind of inconsistency within myself and my own journey and things like that. So
I love how you just noticed that. Though.
Yeah,
I love how you know that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely
awesome.
it's definitely something that I've had to
That's
kind
how
of
you grow.
Again.
Yeah.
Be able to take a step back and notice it as well. So I've been just again going into this year with a fresh mindset, just take what's in the past, leave it in the past, and just kind of keep grinding and just go from there. And that's kind of just what I've been doing. So right now, following a schedule, it'll just be at least consistency. That's my main thing. It doesn't have to be
my favorite word.
A real Tuesday, a real Thursday. We have little segments that I want to implement, like Form Friday and things like that. Obviously, Transformation Tuesday and things along those lines. But for the most part, it's just kind of just having freedom with the page, but consistency. So 5-7 posts a week minimum, and then just keep grinding.
Consistency is the number one tool for social media for anything that you're doing.
100%.
Yeah,
anything.
You could brush your teeth every day in front of a camera. If you did it 3 times a day and you did it for a year, people are going to be like, what's he going to brush his teeth with next? I'm serious. It's weird, but it's how it works.
She has such a following on social media, so she's kind of like the person to follow. She kind of laid the blueprint down as far as consistency goes.
We go back and forth, obviously. The OG.
We jokes with each other. She's a stickler with me, and as far as my timing, and I'm just like a perfectionist, so I want to get everything right. I like it to look a certain way, a certain edit, and she's like, "Listen, we just got to pump it up, just get it out." Which there's a truth and
she
behind
does
both
that
of
too.
those things. You know what I
She
mean?
does that too. She'll spend forever on an edit. I'll be like, listen.
Yeah, he's good. It sounds like he's like that with me. Because I'm the perfectionist too. I'm like, no, but in this frame we're smiling, and in this one,
when it's all completed, then it's like, oh, that came out dope.
That is amazing. Exactly.
I'm like, there's little parts that people don't notice. I'll have to point it out to them. For me, it's satisfying that I can go and make a reel, and then there's a transition that hey, did you listen to the lyrics? At that point, it shifted over here.
Yes, and then it changes the music beat, and so does the picture.
If you drop something, the beat changes.
Content goes a long way.
You're right.
She is the raw content queen.
Yeah,
everything's raw content.
I love that
raw
too,
content,
though.
I don't have time
but again,
to sit there and make everything pretty, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Again, the goal is just consistency. I appreciate obviously everything that they've done. They've provided me with the ability to have this freedom with my timing. Amazing, I just have to obviously find the structure within myself to make sure that stuff's getting done.
So you guys have a full-fledged family business.
I love it. I'm so in love with your family. Honestly, it's so cool. So cool.
Joe, introduce yourself. So Joe Reverdes. What I've when I first found out about you, it was from the World Records. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? You kind of remind me of like a Goggins, where you're just like, balls to the wall, just nonstop, always chasing something, always trying to accomplish something. Were you ever military? That was going to be my first.
You have that stature.
You have that consistency and that want to compete in that kind of, image. But how did that start? Like,
really? Aaron? Your son?
Yeah, I actually was at work. I worked at D&H Collision. That was my passions, cars and fitness. So I get a call one day. It was like at 9:30 in the morning. He said, "Hey, Dad, how many squats can you do in 24 hours?"
Why, you found a world record for him?
So I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, this guy, Andre Torrin from, it's a coach up in New York, did 15,900 and something." I said, "I don't know, but why?" So he says, I said, "We could try. Let's go next week and just try to see how many we could do in 8 hours." So we showed up, me and him, we put the video camera there. So I ended up doing 8,000 by 8 hours. He said, "Dad," now he's a number guy. So I said, "Dad, even if we slow down, you could beat this guy because you did 8,000. He only did 15,000 something in 24 hours.
And so, how long did it take you to do the 8,000?
8 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 8 hours. Yeah. So he says, "Dad, you could beat this guy." So I said, "Okay, well, let me relax. I was beat up for." He said, "Let's do it next week." And then from there, the following week, we set it all up, and I ended up doing 16,900.
Your second time ever even trying it?
Yeah, so I ended up beating it's a world record, but it was like more like Guinness World Record.
You're wrong on that.
Yeah.
You're wrong on that. You're 21,000.
21,000.
Yeah, you didn't.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference. How humble is that? I mean, geez.
It was 21,000. So
yeah, because then we knew, okay, let's make it official and go to Guinness.
Oh my God.
His world records have all 4 of them have been done by Guinness, but the first one, this is why I was telling you earlier that the world record for the most squats has been completed twice for him. So the first time it was done by a company named World Record Setter. It's not Guinness. You can kind of
now, did they come to Rhode Island?
Nope. So this one is just all that's kind of what makes it kind of like an unofficial world record.
Gotcha.
You send you set up the cameras all in a certain way. They want a point of view. What we had at that time, we just had a side view of where he was at. So again, just him banging out the squats. We officially got it just as obviously proof. We were just recording as proof. He did 21,000. It took him a little bit over 21 hours to do it.
Jeez.
We, again, throughout the entirety of his records, like you kind of have to track his pace, know what thing. You just have to, again, he's like my best friend. So we know each other more than, obviously he knows me better than anyone, but at the same time too, I have to know him just as much. And during those hours, you kind of have to be able to read the room and then tell where he's at mindset wise, where he at music wise, what he wants to get put on, what's going to motivate him in those moments. But it was a little bit after 21 hours, and then we called it quits because he already beat it. He had 21,000. We thought we were good.
Did you get worried for him at any time? Like,
oh yeah, you get worried the whole time.
How old were you? How old were you at this time?
Yeah.
What's that?
How old were you when you decided to start this?
I'd have to say maybe because the gym was open. So probably 5 years ago. So 22. Yeah, 22
so
probably.
You're already thinking
4 hours in. Remember, happened 4 hours in.
Leg like caved in.
Oh my gosh.
He had bad cramps.
It
all
had
the
like
time.
a big hole. It's like you could put him. You could see here. It's like you could huge hole the size
of my
fist.
It was visible.
Oh yeah,
it
was huge indentation.
We had to my fist
and just, yeah.
So did you have to go straight through? You couldn't have any breaks. Like how did that work?
I tried to relax a little. Actually, Andre Sukumta and his wife showed up. He's the one that saved me because I was lost all the motivation. I was beat up here. And I remember clear as day. He walked in. I said, "Oh man, Andre is over here to see 4 hours and I'm quitting." I said, No, I started praying. Come on, God.
Just a little backstory on Andre. He's really good friends with Todd and Greg.
Yeah.
He's a fighter from around here, right from Woonsocket actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he had moved away to Florida. So that's why him coming, he randomly surprised him. He had no
wow.
idea he was coming.
That's cool.
So he's at point of, again, you have to know when he needs motivation, where it's going to come from. Sometimes it's from, he has a really cool story you can tell afterwards about my nephew, and obviously it's his grandkids that'll motivate him in that moment. It might be my mom, it might be a song, it might be motivational speeches, but it might be his connection with his God, and obviously from there. But at that time, that's why Andre motivated him so much, because he was at a point of like just breaking, and then Andre came in out of nowhere, and he was like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" You know what I mean?
This is what I love about your family, is even your friends I'm seeing now, the support is undeniable. Like, this is a dream come true. I love it.
Yeah. Was it always like this? Like when you were younger, did you always look at him like Superman?
Yeah. Oh yeah, always. We again, like I was saying, I had competed in MMA. That was like kind of where our relationship got even stronger. I've always been his little guy. You know what I mean? I'm the only boy.
Me and my son are going down that road right now. My son's training with Gary right now.
Yeah, perfect.
And he's really talented, and he doesn't know how good he is right now. But everybody at the gym is telling him like, you got to take this serious, because this is. He's just catching on to everything really quick.
And he's really good at playing chess. So, he's
strategic
with the way he's doing it. He's very methodical, and he's not just pushing them around.
Smart competitor. It's one thing to be a competitor. It's another thing to be a fighter. There's like some people compete. Some people just go in there and just brawl, But that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we went there today, and I had to go look at a job down the street. We were in Cranston, and I left. I was gone for about 45 minutes, and I came back, and he was just sweating head to toe. And as soon as I walked in the door, everybody came up to me and was like, "You should see how Mikey just did. It was incredible. He just did so good." I almost wanted to cry. I was like, this is the best thing that could have ever happened. He's 14. Just turned 14.
Yeah. That's progress too. That's growth for him.
Did you want to fight because he doesn't want to fight.
That was
he's like, I love training.
Still to this day, it's like a big goal.
He'll change his mind.
That's what I think. I think he's gonna get so good. He's gonna be like, I want to try this.
Change his mind.
100%. Yep. So
it's his self-esteem, like from people compliment, knowing how good he is. When he really starts to believe in himself,
he does one competition, he'll fall in love with it. You get that taste for it, and it's like the best feeling in the world. That's again, I had competed in, and that was something that we again bonded with every Saturday night, watching the fights, all this stuff. And then he even had his own gym at one point that was all equipped with all that stuff. So we just like dove right into it. He owned the cages that they fight in for CES and all that stuff.
Oh, really?
He used to rent them out and all that stuff.
Did you fight for CES?
Yes,
you did.
Todd coach at my gym. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember Todd. Yeah, he actually quit. He gave it all up. And then I knew how talented he was, so somehow I persuaded him to come in before Todd was back in the ring fighting.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. Yeah.
So it's so funny. We're talking about getting on the way here. Dano literally out of nowhere tells Blake, outside of playing the video game, you need to figure out something that you like and that you're into, so we can go,
do it together. That's what we're going through right now. This is a huge change in our society, learning how to parent, but also not taking away what is, projected for the future. With like the internet and the phones and the computer and AI, it's not going away. So we have to learn how to incorporate, but balance it too. It's difficult. They know things before I know things, and I'm like,
which is important.
Let me figure that out.
Important. So like you said, it's good to find a balance to where they can still have fun, but they still know that, we have responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can't just play games all the time. Like life is not going to care. If you're going through some stuff, you can't just go play a game and get out of it.
Which is also difficult to say, because a lot of the surgeons now, I used to be prior surgical, and so I did operations, and that's when they started testing robotic surgeries. And so now a prerequisite for these surgeons is, how good are you with video games? Because it's the hand and eye coordination that is a life or death thing. Oh, wow. Like when we started doing robotic surgeries, we lost a couple of people because they were just learning. The surgeon was learning how to be quick enough with a robot. Yeah. It's incredible. It's insane. That's so again, how do you find that balance? How do you do it?
That's where we're going. I mean, everything is going to be AI, robotic. There's going to be no doctors, maybe one overseeing some of the robots or whatever. Where you're going to you're going to be wheeled into an operation room, and you're going to be cut open by a robot and whatever it is.
Wow.
And here's
where
the
we're
thing,
going.
we're already incorporated as robots ourselves now. When we did surgeries with total knee replacement, you left bionic. Your whole knee is now metal. Your shoulder's metal. Your elbow's metal.
Yeah.
We're changing out parts already. We're kind of there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, that stat that you were
Scary,
saying, it's
that's what it is.
It is scary.
it's the top 10 surgeons in the world all hold some type of video game record.
Oh wow.
So they're number one in like
Wow. I didn't know
you know, whatever, like I don't know many games, but
Elon Musk is also
that's exactly
extremely good at
yes.
There's
something to say about that, because it is hard. Like I was playing Fortnite the other night, and I try to play from time to time. Just it's for me, it's like I'm bonding with my kids. So like if they want to play a game here and there, I'll jump on, and I'm like, all right, I suck, but let's play. And it's hard, man, to build like the building on Fortnite is like, what the heck? Like, are you kidding me?
No build.
Yeah, for real.
These kids are insane.
Like
It's hard to explain the complexity to a person who doesn't play.
Yeah.
It's hard to appreciate what the kid is actually doing if you don't try to do it.
Yeah.
And if you can watch them and you understand at the speed at which their mind is moving to be able to do it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
It's amazing.
I mean, I'm 27.
I can't do it.
I'm not a huge like video game guy in general, but like I've played Fortnite when it first came out, when it was like a first thing. Like me and my boys all played
Who
it.
didn't?
And to see like my nephews,
I didn't.
my nephews, like again, my nephew's 13 now, but even when he was like 8, and then with Blake, I mean, if I was to hop in a game with them, I'd get wrecked. Because
Yeah,
it's just
for
like,
sure.
Yeah, it's like
and
not even fun
it's,
at that point.
It's insane
I
how
know.
good they are. It's crazy.
You ever see them on a keyboard, like
they're
just
like-
like it's
yeah,
nuts.
PC,
It's
nuts.
crazy. It's a
Yeah.
talent.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
we were just talking about this the other day. GTA, the new GTA 6 coming
Oh,
out,
no.
is going to change the landscape of gaming completely.
Mhm.
They're inquiring blockchain technology, so you're going to be able to trade and buy items in the game with real money, real assets.
Property, land.
So if you have a house that you want to buy,
It's so
you can
crazy.
buy it with real money,
Mhm.
right? Bitcoin or whatever. I think they're going to use XRP from what I'm hearing.
Mhm.
But you can buy it with XRP and trade it with your friends, build your house, add additions, buy a car, buy a road, buy a block, buy whatever. And then you can call Donnell and be like, Donnell, I got this house. I bought it for $20. Give me $22 and it's yours. If you want that house more than I do, we all know that the property, something is valuable only to that person buying it. So if you think it's more valuable than me, you're going to pay more.
Yeah.
That's how, so all
It's
these
crazy.
kids that are playing, they're going to just, I'm telling you, that game's
Yeah.
going to change
And
the
it's
landscape of a lot of things.
already being programmed in their minds from Fortnite. So in
The
Fortnite,
skins
I have a
and all that,
20-year-old and I have a 14-year-old. Those boys spent so much money when that first came out, and I didn't even catch on until months and months later. But they were being programmed to buy skins.
Mhm.
So instead of us having our credit cards on file, you're going to have Bitcoin to pay for it, or you're going to use electronic funding, which is a whole nother topic I'm afraid of. Like, what if we can never access our money when at some point? I go down these rabbit holes sometimes because we're
He scares me
trusting.
because he goes down the rabbit hole
Yeah.
and he shares, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I don't
Because
want to
it's
hear
that
it.
deep. It's like
Yeah.
they could turn off our lives
Yeah.
in no matter. Like if we all go electric cars, we could all have our cars turned off in a matter of seconds. Like it's
It's
a
a
lot.
thing too. They're
Not
gonna
my
have
Honda. I'm going
every- every car that's made beyond 2006, whether it be electric or a fuel powered car, it's going to have a kill switch in it. It has to, in order for it to be inspected. And
Oh,
pass
really?
inspection, it has to have a kill
They
switch.
passed that?
It's going to be. I don't know if it got passed yet, but I know they
Yeah.
were trying to. Everything past 2026.
So, I mean, I get that theory, but you can also, if they wanted to shut us down, you could also
they'll
shut the
shut us
gas
down.
pumps off too.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah, but
you can
this
also
is even more.
figure-
This is another level of control.
Yeah,
Like this is.
Because the autonomous, I
Yeah,
get it.
it's
Because
way-
of the self-driving, you could, I
It's
get
a totally even like that. We watch this. We rarely watch movies, but every once in a while we watch the end of the world type movies, and we watched
Really?
one that had
Which one?
like I can't remember the name of it. It was a terrible one. I can't believe we made it, but the end was the best part, where it shows all of these Tesla cars just
Oh, those-
going, just
Yeah,
going
okay.
one
Yeah.
direction. Like
The one that Obama
It's
directed.
just with like
I can't-
a young girl like watching a TV at the
Yes,
end.
yes.
Like,
Yes.
oh,
Leave the world behind.
Leave the world behind.
that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But did
Because
you
a
notice
lot-
you didn't see one Honda not
No.
tied up?
He's all.
There's not one Civic, not one
his
Civic to be
Honda
seen.
is the pickup truck, an 18-wheeler.
Yeah,
I mean,
Just
Hondas
today.
are nice.
Hondas are-
Things for the
Accords
gym.
are the-
We can,
probably the
like,
best.
Go to Home Depot and just
Stack the
We just did it.
Honda.
We literally just did it 2 hours ago.
We just stacked
2
it
hours
for
ago. We
like
just did it.
2 for the bunch of things.
And it's just an ongoing joke. Like
We're
my Honda
revamping the
does
gym
all.
a little bit. We're doing a little bit of like a facelift to the gym and just kind of giving it a new paint job and building a
Nice.
couple things. And we just had to make a Home Depot trip. He had 2 8 by 4 feet plywood stacked on top.
Hell
2 by
yeah.
4s, 15 of them stacked on top.
What is
all
it, a
strapped
Pilot?
in.
A
No,
Honda
it's a
Pilot?
Honda Accord.
Accord. Oh,
Yeah.
an Accord?
Listen.
That's what we're saying. He stacks it all on top.
It's a
Yeah.
little car.
Oh
It's a
my
little
God, I
tiny
love
car.
it.
I think Honda Accords are probably one of the best cars ever made. Those, I mean, they have like million-mile clubs.
Civics.
Yeah,
I got
million miles?
300,000. Then I have
Wow.
Civic with two plus. Yeah.
2+.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's
Yeah.
million-mile club. That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
I want to take mine. Yeah, like
The next Guinness.
There's another, there's another record.
Yeah.
So there was another video that I saw of you doing stairs.
Oof.
What was that
Yeah.
one all about?
it was based on it's like a firefighter. They're huge with the stairs, climb for a year.
Mm.
So I think the guy was from Spain or somewhere. They had the record.
No, Switzerland.
Switzerland, 61,000. What I loved about it, they said that record will never be beaten. Even my son-in-law said, I don't know, that's going to be tough
Yeah.
because we're doing the numbers. That's going to kind of be crazy. And but for some reason, when I think of something I know, I always say, I think I got that. And when I say that to myself, I got it. If it's tomorrow I'm getting up, it's in my head. The day after is getting up, that means like I feel like the universe telling me something is for me. And I just train. I go and I train all by myself, too quiet. It's only my time, guys. When I train, it's just me, my time, my music, whatever music pumps me up. And I bring myself to that zone that it hurts, it sucks, you want to quit. But I just keep going.
mental
Yeah,
tap
it's a
in.
mental.
So
yeah.
Wow.
now that
Training is never what we would consider training for some crazy insanity things that he sets himself up for. That's for
Wow.
sure. So I feel like it's definitely mindset more than anything.
Yeah, it's definitely mindset. Because before we do the challenge, I'll have somebody, let's do this for an hour. See how you feel. And like, so before an hour, they get ready to quit. They don't want to do it. Then I say, okay, definitely mindset. And you got to tap
Yeah.
into that higher power. Yeah.
He's
definitely.
had
Yeah.
guys message him from the UK,
Yeah.
from a whole bunch of different countries
Yeah.
in Europe, and they're trying to attempt his record, and they will message him and say, hey, no disrespect, like it's an honor to obviously speak to you. If you have any
Mhm.
tips, to let us know. And he is more than willing to help because he's always just trying to, again, push the next person. That's why he does it, is to motivate
Yeah.
people anyways. And he was helping these guys, and not to, we were just talking about his sweet tooth. I mean, they're shredded. They look the part. Again, you put him in a room with 10, again, he's in great shape too, but you put him in a room with 10 other guys that have attempted his records, and you're going to probably pick him as the last one to say he's the world record holder. And we've seen these guys, they're climbing to the top mountains with a rower in their hand. They're doing like these cool videos things. They're nuts, guys. But then when it comes down to it, they'll message him and after their 3 days after their attempt and go, dude, I don't know how you did that.
Wow.
I quit after hour 6. I quit after hour 3. I didn't even make it past hour 1. And
so
it's
for that
genuinely
stair
all
one,
mindset.
how long did that take you? And that's the one that
That
for
was-
you guys,
that
I
was
would have been
tough.
the most worried about
Mm.
because there's a lot that could happen. There's a lot
Fall
that could
back,
go wrong
everything.
with that.
Yeah.
He passed out right in my arms at the end of it. It was scary.
Wow.
Yeah, it was probably the
we had
scariest
to go
one.
the full 24 for that. That was a push
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
fight for
Full
it.
24 hours.
Yeah, we had to do the full
Wow.
24, and
But we,
it was like
we lost hours because of dehydration. I was
Yeah.
dehydrated. They gave me an IV. I forgot how many hours, 9 hours in. Then they came back.
Mhm.
At midnight, gave me more IV because like I was dehydrated.
It was really
Whoa.
bad. That one was probably it wasn't the scariest shape that he's been in during it, because honestly, during it, he was making it look easy up until the last like couple hours. And that's what we was like most surprised about at the end. It got scary at the end because as soon as he beat it, he just
passed right
done,
out.
collapsed,
Wow. It was
pale,
like his
didn't
body
hold
was
his
like,
hand
okay.
up. Usually,
Wow, it's like your body
even
knew.
during one of them, it was during his burpee record. He had he just right before it was one of our good friends at the gym. She's a nurse and she had checked his blood pressure, like ran a couple things, and had called her secretly and was like, you guys need to tell your dad to not do this. His blood pressure is through the roof.
Mm.
There's a risk of him like dying right there and then. And They messaged me because I'm like the delegator when it comes to him. Like and I was like, guys, if you think that Dad's calling off this record, you're out of your mind.
Right.
Like, it's not happening.
We might as well
He has
keep
literally looked at
supporting.
me and said, I'd rather die than not do it.
Wow.
And when he says it, he means it. Like I get goosebumps thinking about it because it's a true statement. Like he's not just saying it to sound cool or to sound like corny and cliche. He means that, and he'd rather die there than to give up this. So during that challenge, he was dealing with the pressure and going up and down like that the entire time. He had ended up passing out in the back of the room. I had his hand, and we had a MyZone heart rate monitor on him, and we have one in the setup in the gym, and we could see the zone. So it's all based off a zone. If you're in the red zone, your heart rate's at like max, and you're pushing it. He's laying on a massage bed in red, and someone came and told me that. So now he has a towel over his head with cold water, and I felt his hand just go limp, and then I was like, oh, he's passed out now. My mom comes back there, and she's like, what are we gonna do? Like, what are we doing? Are we calling it thing? And then that's where my nephew, the story I was kind of mentioning earlier, I'll swing it over to him because that's where like kind of like just he rose from the ashes at that point.
Yeah, it was Kason. The day before, I was walking around the gym with him. So now he's young, you don't understand that. He's only a few months old. I'm holding him. I said, tomorrow Papa is going to do something great that you're going to remember me for the rest of my, I get most of it. So I'm walking. I said, Papa's going to do something great for you that you're going to remember me for the rest of my life. So when I passed out, I didn't know what happened. Only thing I remember is my daughter, Chris, or somebody saying, "See, give Papa a kiss, give Papa a kiss." And so I opened my eyes and I saw him there, and that was it. I says, give me spark, give me a bagel or something. Because I almost say I couldn't eat nothing. Because
he had a stomach bug beforehand.
I had stomach bug the day before. So I really couldn't eat. 24 hours before that, I was dehydrated, couldn't eat, couldn't even drink. Because even if I drink water, I felt like I was going to vomit. I said, why am I going to do this? So that day, 9 hours in, I really didn't have no fuel. I was dehydrated. That's what happened. I passed out. But then when I saw his face smiling at him, I said, give me a spark. Give me a thing. Boom. That's it. I'm doing it. And just
at that point too, he was already this almost happens at almost every single challenge. Urinates blood every single time. Can never use the bathroom.
What's that? Kidneys just shutting down?
Yeah, his body's just shutting down.
Dehydration.
He had at that exact point, we had a massage therapist there, and she was massaging, and she like had looked at me and was like, and I was like, yeah, he knows, but just don't like bring the energy down. He had torn his hamstrings, his whole groin, and his hamstrings were like
how
purple.
long in did you do that?
It was 9 hours deep. I still had 9 hours left.
And you tore your hamstring with 9 hours
No, that was
left.
early.
The hamstrings are way early in, way early in. The peeing blood happens around like 8-9 hours in, and then the pass out happened around there as well.
All right, let's take a quick commercial break to bring you our sponsor, Burns Roofing. I've been personal friends with Eric for over 20 years. He's an incredible stand-up businessman, and if you ever need anything regarding roofing in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, give them a call. They do honest, hard work, and he is my go-to whenever I need anything in roofing needs.
I would love to know what your recovery is like after you do your extreme exercise. I can only imagine.
You know, I'm actually back the next day.
What?
And that's something that all my challenges we read in there. I know the guy for Deadlift said that 3 weeks. His wife wrote a book. A huge article that they just had a 4-month-old baby that he couldn't hold his baby like for like 3 weeks. He couldn't even. He owned a CrossFit gym up in UK. He couldn't do it. That's what like say. Well, hold on.
That's what he wants to put the cherry on top. That's like where
he
should because he's limping around. He's like walking around. He can barely get off the ledge. It's bad.
He doesn't see a massage therapist. He doesn't do any. That's why I'm saying it's mental, because the prep, if these guys were to say, hey, how do you train for this? There's no strategic training that he has. He just mentally is like, I'm gonna do it.
So there's no using a Stairmaster weeks before.
There's that, but he'll be there all day.
Okay. He'll just say, I'm gonna go do 5 hours today. You know, it's not a strategic.
There's literally no physical prep for the mental test that he undergoes.
It's kind of like a marathon. So like a marathon runner never actually truly runs a marathon in their prep. They never run at 26. True. They'll run 13. Sometimes some people go up to a 20, which is a little controversial, but like they'll go up to that. They're never gonna run the full 26. So it's kind of like that where you're never going to get the chance to do 24
has like a routine.
That's 100%. 100%. But I'm just saying that he's never going to get the 24.
Just saying like, I'm physically capable of
Yeah.
beating that record.
I'm gonna do this. Yeah.
I'm gonna beat that record. That I'm gonna choose that one. And I'll do that one.
We'll attempt to sit him down and go, all right, let's come up with Monday you're doing this, Tuesday you're doing this, Wednesday you're doing this.
No.
Recovery aspect of it,
Yeah.
seeing a
Even the
chiropractor,
food.
seeing a physical
Like, Dad, what
therapist,
did
seeing
you
anything,
do
nothing.
yesterday? Like, did you eat enough? Like, there's no fuel plan. Like, oh yeah, I had tricep big, you know. There's nothing. There's no prep and there's no after recovery process to
Wow.
anything.
It's like you remember the Will Smith quote where he was like, I'll die
Mhm.
on this treadmill
Yeah.
before I get
Yeah.
off. If I get off before you, like
Yeah.
and I'd rather die here. Like that would be like him, like against the competition.
Mhm.
So you have 10 guys in the Joey, like they all might be like physically fit enough to beat him. But if they're not mentally strong enough, then they lose.
Yeah.
And they're probably not mentally. None of them are. You know what I mean?
Well, we're gonna build a fallout shelter, and you guys are welcome to come. Because if we go to World War III, I want to be with y'all.
So what was your
It's
fighting
incredible.
career like? When did you turn pro? Like what was that like?
That was a funny one. He'll
So we have to this day actually Greg Rebello is actually very still it's one of Greg's main coaches. His name's Mike Gresh. They call him Loco Lobo. So he has always
started with William.
No. I'm talking about when you first like heard what Mike was talking about.
Yeah.
So we again, like I said earlier, he used to rent out the cages to all these local promotions. So we had built a relationship with all these guys. Again, he had introduced Jimmy Birchfield and all of these promoters to Todd Chattel's, to the Andre Sukutas. He's the one that kind of like was like, hey, these kids are good. Like you should look at these guys. So we had built that relationship already.
Joe did, you meaning?
Okay,
gotcha.
he was the
They don't
connector.
remember me anymore though.
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
We had to pay for standing tickets now.
I
But
was the first one
Yeah.
in New England to ever own a cage. He all started with Manny Neffs, which was one of Todd's
Rest in
coach.
peace. Manny Neves was a good
dude,
guy.
good,
Good
love him,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. He all started with Manny. Manny was actually the first one that ever tried to do MMA.
Todd
in
started
New
with
England.
Manny too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Manny
that.
was the first one. I remember when I bought a cage, went to Kansas to pick it up. I had it in my gym. It was in Main Street, Hope Odyssey Village. My gym was in there. It was called Ultimate Fitness Center. Then Manny came, so you got a cage? Oh, man, you got to rent it to me. So I said, I got to rent it to you.
That
How
place
much?
in Lincoln?
No, I was in Odyssey.
Manny's place was
Manny-
in Lincoln.
Manny's
Manny
place
was
in
in
Lincoln?
Lincoln. Manny was
Yeah.
in Lincoln, but mine was in Pawtucket. Yeah, it was
Okay.
like 5 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
So Manny said, you got to rent it to me. I said, rent what? I said, how much? He says, I'll give you $1,500. That became a business. $1,500. Oh, all right, yeah, I'll rent it to you. So I rented to him. Then someone else knew that everything happened like just smart. It's not like I planned everything. Before you know, I had Mike. Mike. What was that man? I forgot. Not reality fight. It was anyone that was throwing MMA called me for the cage. So before you know, I was all over New
How
York.
did you build
New
that?
York, everything.
I bought it. I ended up
So
buying
you bought it and rented
Texas.
it out?
Yeah, it was
No,
in
Kansas.
Kansas. It was
He
in
drove
Kansas.
all the
To
way
Kansas.
out there.
He drove to
To
With
where?
a U-Haul
To
truck.
Kansas.
To Kansas?
Yeah. Pick it up in
Get the
U-Haul
cage,
truck.
'cause that's the only way you could get it.
Yeah.
Talk to the people that built it.
Back then he's
Like-
talking to the guy that genuinely like welded it. Like
But yeah,
Uh,
that makes
wow.
sense.
So what'd you pay for it?
So February, it was 32,000. My body.
32,000?
32,000. Yeah, yeah. Actually, the one Jimmy has now, it was mine. Yeah, most of them are here.
And his
yeah.
cage crew was Donnell, my
Yeah.
uncle,
Oh
and my
my
whole
God.
family. And they all went and
Love
set up the
Yeah.
cages.
So you guys set up all the cages for
That's
CES
cool.
and
Yeah,
for all
I
the fights
did
around
twice
here?
a week.
Yeah,
weekend.
everywhere.
So
everywhere.
what did you
Trendsetters.
charge them a fee per fight to rent to?
1,500. Yeah.
So 1,500 per fight that
Yeah.
came with Donnell, the crew to
Everything.
set
Yeah,
up
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a bulwark. It's not even worth it. By the time you,
But no,
When I
Did you
had
at
my-
least get your money back?
yeah.
No,
no,
you
you do.
undercut it.
No, you
It's
do.
not
Like you do. Like you make a couple of hundred. You're better off just go to work and make that money. But I just,
I love it.
Back
First,
then
love
it
the
wasn't
sport.
bad. I mean,
No.
back then it wasn't
Yeah.
bad. 3,000, for the weekend,
Yeah.
because we had the gym and it was like a part of the gym,
Mhm.
Part of it.
Yeah.
and so it was the most
Yeah.
money that we was making from the
Making,
gym
yeah,
because
yeah.
Joey's such a sweetheart that like nobody has to pay. Like,
Yeah, you just
Oh,
I
wow.
could see that.
So
I
yeah,
could
so
see it.
like
Everything's free. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it. We got
yeah,
it. Yeah.
I couldn't say no. Like you walk in, hi, how are you? My wife would be looking. Hey, we didn't pay for 3 months. Sorry, baby, go tell him. I said, nah,
he
babe.
quickly went out of business.
So I
there.
says, nah, babe, don't. It's gonna make feel uncomfortable. Well, he's not uncomfortable to walk over here and to walk in, say hello. He didn't pay. He says, nah, baby, just leave it like that. But it wasn't for me because I don't like to ask you. You have that payment for me. I just can't do it. Yeah. Till this day, same way. I don't like people feel uncomfortable. Ask them, if you know you got to pay me, pay me. I'm not going to go, you know, you forgot to pay me.
Yeah.
I would never do that. I would never make somebody feel uncomfortable like that. You know you owe me. If you're going to pay me, pay me. If you don't pay me, I'm not going to sit there and make you feel uncomfortable. You already feel uncomfortable anyways because you're the one that knows you owe me.
Yeah, you're around me. You're the one feeling uncomfortable around me because
So-
you know that
So
you owe
I'm
me
not going
money.
to ask you. You'll never receive a call from me. Hey, you got this? No, never. I'm never going to be like that.
Yeah, I mean
It's-
that's
it's
kind of like
wrong.
that
It's
saying,
wrong.
like
It's
give somebody
wrong.
$20 and see if they pay you back. If not, then you
It's
just
wrong.
pay somebody
Yeah,
$20
it's wrong.
to know who they are.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like good karma comes back.
Yeah.
Good karma comes back, and it always does.
Yeah,
That's the reason why I have the sport that I do, because you know, like I'm called Papa Joe at the gym.
Yeah.
I have so much support, and like I said, and that's where my energy come from. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why this record, when I have all them faces looking at me and come on, Papa, come on. I say I feel like if I quit, I'm quitting on them, so I don't quit.
Mm.
That's my energy. Yeah.
Love
I
that.
don't think you guys finished yours with
No, I
that.
didn't.
Yeah. Go back. So I want to hear about your
Yeah,
career a little
so
bit.
it was a company called Cage Effects, and that's who Mike Gresh, local Lobo, used to fight for all the time. And Mike Gresh comes in with white hair, white sideburns down here. He looks like a maniac. He's a hilarious man, but he looks like a maniac. He comes in there, but he looks like this old guy because he used to dye his hair white. His hair is white now because he's an old man, but he
Dyes
used to
hair
dye his
white.
hair white and dye his sideburns, everything.
Wow.
He used to come in and whoop the absolute shit out of these youngins, like these young dudes. So my dad had seen that and go, who the hell is this guy? On the post-fight interview, he goes, I think every man should come in this cage and test themselves at least once in their life just to see where they are in the food chain,
Ooh.
like see where they rank. Get humbled, come in there, get humbled, and understand what the sport is, understand how hard it is, and come and test yourself as a man. 2 weeks later, he books a fight. Like he's gonna fight in like 2 weeks. So then he goes into Andre Sukumata's dad, William Sukumata.
Oh
He goes
my
into
God.
Team United at the time, and goes, "Hey coach, I want you to train me for a fight I got coming up."
I don't know who he is. I said, hey, you know, how easy. So I'm William. Tom Evan was in there. I was looking for Tom, and William was there. He says, I want to fight. I said, what do you want to fight? I says, MMA. He says, MMA. He says, well, what's your background? Is it wrestling, karate? I says, what do you mean? He said, no. You wrestle? He says, no. So I never even fought on the
How
street.
old were you?
I was 42.
You've never even you
No,
had
that's
no
kinda that-
street fights,
yeah,
nothing.
That kind of that. So that's
No.
the reason. In
Yeah.
his defense,
Yeah.
the reason that he rushed it was because that was before the commission,
Commission,
any
right.
athletic commission, was sanctioning these fights.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were about to come in and sanction the fights. One of the rules that they were implementing in was if you do not have amateur fights and you're past the age of 35, you will never be able to fight professional.
Is that
Really?
still
So that
real?
I'm
Is
not
that-
sure if that's still a
Huh.
thing. They might have, because I know like
They
even
changed
right
it.
now, if he was to fight, they would have him just go through a lot of testing, like extra testing, EKGs, and
Yeah.
all that type of stuff, just to make sure that he's well and fit enough to be in a cage. Because obviously there's no age groups, there's no age brackets. It's just, hey, you weigh a certain
weight.
amount, and what's your record? We'll kind of put you in with someone that is coming equally at a certain level and experience level with you, but it's never guaranteed.
Right.
And at that point, it definitely wasn't when it wasn't being sanctioned, which again was one of the things that went wrong. He comes in to fight that day after 2 weeks of training and barely knowing even how to hold his hands up. And the promoter's like, I got this guy just coming fresh out of a bar. You trust me, Joe, it's a walk in the park.
Oh,
We fill up a
God.
party bus, drive up to what was it, Brockton? Somewhere he used to have the fights.
It was Plymouth.
Plymouth.
Jumbo
Then we
Plex,
go
yeah.
there and he goes up to Loco and goes,
No, I'm walking. I saw the guy say, oh, that's the guy from the YouTube. I say, hey,
Mhm.
bud, how you doing? I said, listen, you don't know me, but I'm fighting because of you. He says, you fighting because of me? What do you mean? Who you fight? I said, I'm fighting Mac
Caponis.
Caponis. He says, what? Who's your coach? I says, William. He says, who set up this fight? He says, it's your first fight? I said, yeah, it's my first fight. Now, I never fought amateur. That was my first fight with professional.
First fight ever.
Then he says, oh, hold on for a minute. He's talking. He's following me to the locker. He says, hold on for a minute. I said, no, listen. Don't pay no attention to that interview you seen. Hold on, Gary. He says, like, he says, who met Chato? You let this guy fight? He's fighting Mac Caponis. And Mac Caponis, he fought Damien Schweitz from Mike.
he's a
yeah.
national
So
rep,
he's
like
a
a national. I think he's a
Wrestler,
national finalist in wrestling
Yeah.
in college, and then he also comes in to fight at 155 or 135 at the time.
He was 22
He was 22 pounds
yeah.
overweight.
22
Wow.
pounds.
So again, the
Wow.
fights aren't sanctioned.
Wow.
Anything goes. You want to fight? You
He
want to
was
fight?
22,
Let's do it.
22
22
pounds
pounds
overweight at the
overweight.
weigh-ins?
At
But
the
he was
weigh-ins.
21
Oh.
pounds over the day before.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was supposed to cut weight. and show up. He was supposed to weigh again the next day. The next day he came in, he was 2 pounds heavier.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
now William says,
Might
no,
have
no,
steak.
he's not fighting, we're not fighting. I says, William, come on, man, we have to fight. No, that's not thing. You're not fighting. So I says, if I'm on the street, somebody punches me in the face and Ryan will say, you're bigger than I am. I can't fight you.
Wait, step on the scale.
So I says, no, we're gonna fight.
Oh,
So
my God.
then we fought. Like I said, I lost, but like I said, on the ground, I was doing fine, and then all of a sudden went to the ground. I
And then
didn't
the
have
whole
no
family
ground.
ended up in the
Yeah.
cage.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
All you guys jumped in?
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
Stop it.
Yeah. After
Oh,
the
they-
fight,
Is that on YouTube?
Oh my
no,
God.
not that one. Not that one.
She was in there. She's
I
getting
ran
ready.
right in the cage.
That's the first time I'm here. I swear you. Fat ass, you fat ass. This. Now I'm looking at it. You stop it right now. Stop it right now. Go apologize to him right now. Go apologize.
Oh,
I
my
love it.
goodness.
So it was
That's right.
it was a hot mess.
The girls are a hot mess
Yeah.
at the fights.
Yeah.
One of them's screaming,
Not a
one of
scene.
them's crying, one of them's just saying,
Yeah.
screaming, punch him in the effing face. That's all you're getting out of them.
Yeah.
You're not getting any real fight advice out of them.
Wow. So how
But,
many?
it was one of the best experiences ever because from somebody that never went to fight, go in there, now you know how it feels to get punched, especially
Yeah.
MMA gloves, punched in the
Yeah.
face. All right, okay, I didn't get knocked out. I took it. Okay, fine. And then went back to another one. I lost that one. That one I did better, which was a kid that he had I think two professional fights, but he had like 19 amateur fights. So he was already used to the cage. He already knew what he was doing.
Fred Mandrake,
yeah.
Yeah, Fred Mandrake, he fought him twice.
Yeah.
So how many
What's
pro
that?
fights did
Was
you
that
have?
one in Worcester?
I think 5. I won 3
I
and
don't know.
lost 2.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Wow.
I don't know where his first fight with Fred was. And then after he fought Fred, he fought a kid named Anthony Carmona. He won that one. Greg was actually the commentator on that one. Greg was talking. Greg,
I love
if you go
Greg.
back
I
and watch
love
that
Greg,
fight,
yeah.
you got to
I
hear
love
Greg's
Greg, yeah.
commentary. Greg is making him sound like he's
I'm a
friggin'
pro, the
Anderson
best
Silva
thing.
in that ring.
Yeah.
He's a veteran. He's seen this stuff before. Joe's been training for years, but Joe, he has not
He's
been.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Greg is hilarious.
Yeah, he's
I
a
love
maniac.
him, yeah.
I love that guy.
Donnell and Alicia Freeman.
Yes.
Donnell, I had the pleasure of meeting you the other night, and we spoke for like an hour straight. It was an awesome conversation. And Alicia, I saw your stuff back in like 2012, I think it was Facebook. I think this was before Instagram. And you were the first person that I saw get like a following. And I'm like, I think she's making money from this. Like you were the first like kind of influencer around here that I saw like really break out of the normal like Facebook setting. Because before it was kind of just like, you know, your friends, you're talking to this person, and influencing wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
And like fitness stuff wasn't huge back then, but like you kind of started before it really started taking off. So I started watching and I'm like, okay, she's getting sponsors. She's getting this, like, I'm pretty sure she's got to be making a living. And then I saw you get involved with Advocare, right? Was it Advocare? Yeah.
Mhm.
So what made you get into making content, and like what, you know, how did it start?
Well, kind of like my dad, never strategic. So he did the gym thing. Donnell, honestly, we started dating in high school. He was like the track star, the football player, and because of my dad having like the bodybuilding background, all that, I was like, okay, I'm into, you know, this fitness. Never really talented in any area, but a hard worker. I work hard, like whatever I put my mind to, I'm accomplishing. I know that. So it started where I was like, okay, I want to do a fitness competition. And I think that at that point is where things started to pivot, and the social media presence happened because I was like kind of blogging my journey just naturally.
That's what Nicole said too, babe.
Yeah,
Nicole
same
said-
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
The blog.
Just naturally, just sharing my day to day, my routine, my workouts. My best friend and I were workout partners at the time. We would just honestly, we went to forecourt. Is that what you guys know?
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah. We went to forecourt. We did spin class. It was just like a natural thing. And then I feel like once I did the fitness competition, that's when the fitness pages would just like take your stuff and repost on their page. They wouldn't like charge you or
Instagram
ask
or
you, "Can I
Facebook?
post?"
Instagram.
This was Instagram.
Yeah.
And this was like very new on Instagram. Like 2013. So this is, like you said, nothing was really, you know, happening from like an influencer standpoint. And then because of those pages, my following grew. Obviously, getting in tip-top shape like that, people are like, whoa, what is she doing? And so it ended up naturally my following just going. And then when Advocare was introduced to us, it started where it was just like, oh, these are the supplements I'm going to take while I go on this fitness journey of mine. And Nicole Costa was my coach, my prep coach.
Mhm.
She's the one who got me into Advocare.
That's
She was
so
my
fun.
leader at the time. And because of prep, the influence was there with the shape that I was in, where people were like, "What are you taking?"
Did you
Yeah,
notice?
I
Did
want
you
what you
notice your following get like way bigger when the better shape you got in? Like the more shape you got in, did it get bigger?
So my following jumped overnight. I bought this one-piece suit from a girl, Rosa Acosta is her name. So she started an apparel line, and she had this one-piece suit, and I did. Donna
She
was
was a
like my
video model.
content guy, and he did videos of me over at Brown University Stadium, and I was just doing a workout up in the stairs, and I posted it, and she reposted me in her outfit on her page,
Right.
and
her
that's
page was huge?
overnight, my page blew up.
Wow, that's
So she's,
incredible.
1.5 million.
So she had a following at the time already, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
just reposted one
Exactly.
of your.
Yeah, and she just reposted me in her one-piece
So
suit.
what did it go
and
to? Like
overnight.
what was it?
Oh
And then
my
what did it
goodness,
go
I don't
to?
even remember, but it was thousands.
Wow.
Like it jumped.
And then
to,
your
like,
inbox
It's like
probably
the
started getting
30s
flooded.
back
Mhm.
Yeah,
from that.
it like jumped from like nothing to like 30K or something.
Wow, that's
And that was like the
incredible.
big
But-
jump.
$0 came from
Oh yeah,
that.
nothing, no
Yeah.
money. I've never
So-
made $1 on
Nothing.
Instagram. Or
Not even
Yeah.
a dollar.
Really?
No,
Really?
no.
So no like endorsements, no sponsors.
Free clothes. Bombshell sponsored me as an athlete. Do some content in my outfits, and I will send you, 3 outfits a month. Like it was
Wow.
never. We built Advocare, and
But
that was.
but opportunity came from it, right? Like, do you think that opportunity ended up growing from social media that probably wouldn't have been there before?
Yeah, our Advocare, again, the influence of us just being fitness
Yeah.
couple,
Yeah.
and even again being in that type of shape, having a network marketing business, you have people that you're not just tapping into locally. People are reaching out to you, all over the country, asking, "Hey, what is it you're doing? What are these products?" We became online coaches, and it just kind of we ended up recommending.
Yeah.
It gives you popularity, and then you have to know what to do with it.
Mhm.
Right.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because it could, and not only that, but you have to be like, you have to control it too, because you depending on how you are, that's like, your followers can be, they're not always exactly what you want them to be, and so we had a transitional period where it was like, getting followers to where you really want them to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're getting your page to where you want
Mhm.
it to be. And it's like a process, you know what I mean? But I think that, in terms of creating opportunity, it was outside of social media.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it was developing, and again, social media like fed things just like how the gym like
Mhm.
feeds things. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like for the most part, like, and just watching what went on with Alicia was like, it's like, most of the companies and things that were out there, it's like, we're gonna give you like pennies,
Nothing.
and we want everybody to, we're gonna take all your work, and it's
We're
gonna
gonna
be
make the-
our work.
Right.
Wow.
Wear our stuff.
Yeah.
While you're doing your videos, take our products while you're doing your workouts, so on and so forth. And then you can make literally a fraction. Here's this code. Hopefully when the person that's following you buys, they use your code. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
It's nothing. There's like nothing there. And so like, if you're going to create anything, it's literally, you have to create your own stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
So building that brand is like, that's the most important thing, because it will allow you to do stuff outside. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Right.
I recently went to, you did a collab with Miss Pilates,
Mhm.
and I saw a lot of your clothing line.
Yeah.
So now I like to see that, your popularity started by wearing somebody else's, but you are your own brand at
Yeah.
this point. I mean, the tops, the bottoms, everything looks great. And it's great too, because you have a logo that it's not too confusing. It's not like,
What, the A&D logo?
it's A&D.
Yeah, it's a
it
good
looks
logo.
good in small, it looks good big. You guys did a great job, so
Yeah.
that's fun to see that those learning curves. It took some time, and you were definitely used for your talent and your beauty and the mindset you guys had, but now it's the roles are reversed.
I feel like it also is like who you are as a person too, right? So like all these brands gave me opportunities to wear their stuff and to put myself out there, but like we were saying earlier, it's always raw and real content from me.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm also not somebody that like sees a person and sees a dollar sign. Like, I want to know genuinely who you are, why you're reaching out to me. I mean, he would get so mad at me for years of our relationship because I would respond to these people in a way of like, they're my family and my friends, and like I know them personally. I don't want ever somebody, even, you know, with Advocare, we built our 6-figure business because it was never hey, I want to sell you a supplement. Okay, on to the next one. Who's the next sale? It was always like, what is your goal? You know, why are you reaching out to me? What does life look like for you? Let's figure this out. Let's find sustainability so you feel good. And then that is what I feel like trickled into our success. So I feel like it's also like, yeah, you can have this following, you can have this opportunity, you can have the influencer, but people, once they connect with you, he always uses this, is like they start as followers, but they become fans to like family. And I feel like because we were able to like genuinely just be who we are, that transition, that success and the income came from like what we were able to build, because people knew like, okay, they're genuine, they actually care, they're not just like selling, you know, this and that. And don't get me wrong, we've had a couple of, Advocare was like rock solid with us, what, 8 years?
You guys were with them for that long?
That's incredible.
Yeah, so like we weren't just like, you know, taking this supplement and hey, this is what we're doing and taking it. It was like, no, we believed in it wholeheartedly. We traveled with them. We met people across the country. We went and literally traveled state to state with people who signed up under us to meet them and their family and send their families Christmas gifts and these kids. It wasn't just like, hey, you're on my team making me money, check on to the next. And so I feel like social media has definitely been a platform where we're blessed to like have built what we've built, but because of like just making those connections and really caring about what we do.
Yes.
It is tough though. Social media is tough, like on our relationship, you know, being like the one that like doesn't really get too much involved with it. You know what I mean? It's always hard because it takes a lot of energy, like, you know what I mean? And like, when she was building her following, it was always hard because that was the main thing. You know what I mean? Like it was like always like her and her social media.
Yeah.
And like
we go through it.
Yeah. You know, and so like you come as a partner in the relationship, is like you come second to the social media, you come second to the comments, you come second to the DMs. That all has to get done. The content has to get done, everything has to get done before you. That, you know what I mean? You're like, that this is more important, the social media. You know, it becomes like you're a child.
They have the algorithm. They have it so down packed psychologically. They just know what makes us want to do certain things. So like, I just feel like it's designed for that almost. It's designed for us to want the likes, to want the engagement.
It's an addiction.
It's like you post something, you don't get enough likes. You're like, what? You almost feel like a certain way. You're like, I'm failing right now.
That's one of the reasons I stopped with it, was because I would notice that my workouts, I grew up the gym. I've been in the gym for like my whole life, right? Like when I started to build social media, she was first to social media. I was I didn't want to do anything, whether it was MySpace, Facebook, or Instagram. I was way late to Instagram, and she was first to it. But like what I noticed when I did start to do it was like my workouts weren't mine anymore. And I was like trying to get the right angle, and I was trying to make sure I was getting this and getting that.
All the time now. I feel like sometimes when I leave the gym, I feel like what did we just do?
Yeah.
Right.
If I didn't get a video at the gym, it wasn't even a workout.
Yeah.
It was incomplete. Something was missing. I don't have anything to post. And I was like, I just, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And then I would notice, well, when I would post, what are they commenting? And then there's like people that I didn't even know had the ability to live rent free in my head because they left a comment. And I don't even know them. And they're saying something, and now here I am going like, you know, either back and forth with this person. And like, there was even times where like, you know, people would leave comments and stuff on her thing. And then and it's like, you know, all this energy that I'm having to put into something that is what is it?
I know,
you know, and so it for me, you know, I've been fortunate to be in the position where she can continue to do it. And it has transitioned to something, like I said, I always say we've taken people from followers to fans to friends to family. And like that transition has been lovely because the social media is something different now. But at one point it was like, man, this is like, it's chaotic. You know, it really can be chaotic, especially from my point of view. And so I took a step back from it, and I've never really re-engaged the way Alicia has. But it's been fortunate because, you know, I've have like, maybe like 9,000 or something followers just because, you know what I mean? And I don't really have to do much because of everything that she's done and how engaged and everything she is, you know what I'm saying? And so it's nice for me to be able to take a step back and still, and enjoy the benefits of having the following.
Yeah. I'm getting phone calls now at night, like 10:30 at night the other night. No caller ID called my phone. I pick up the phone, and whoever called me is gonna listen to this. It's gonna piss me off. But you know what? I'm living in your head rent free, and I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
So, and I said that to him. He called me 10:30, and they used a voice disguiser. And he's like, "Oh, you still at the gym, tough guy? I'll be at your house. I'm gonna beat your ass." I'm like, "My door's wide open, but you can please do." And the problem is, I own a few businesses, and they're all public. They're all online. So when I'm promoting my businesses, and if they click on it, my phone number is right there, or my work number is right there. So like they have access to me. They have access to all my stuff.
Right.
So I get these weird phone calls, these weird texts. Like today, somebody sent me a text. Are you hiring? Here's a picture of my work. I'm a professional. It was just like this. I could tell he Googled the images, and it was just like hack work. And he wanted to see if I would say, "Yeah, we're hiring. Come on over," because it was hack work. But like that, I get stuff like that now, and it's like, what the
it's
like,
crazy.
it's just weird to me that
has
there's
the
people
time
out
to
there
do
that do
too.
that.
It's crazy. It's
Oh,
crazy.
we got hacked, and social media has been like chaotic. Just that, I'd leave it at that. But like, we had a point where she was in Miami, and somebody had hacked into, I don't know, what was it? Snapchat. She was like conversating back and forth with somebody, like sending pictures, sending sexual pictures and everything all day with somebody, and then reached out to me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what pictures? Like, and she was talking to some other person, some other guy, all day. And
what?
You know what I mean?
Tag? She thought it was you.
And,
It was from his feed.
And I don't even use Snapchat.
Oh no.
Like, I don't even use it, so like I don't even know like how it happened, but like.
So easy to do like those types of things. Like, I mean, you could type in a website right now, right on your phone. It's the first one to come up on Google. You could change your number and make it look like he's calling you.
What?
But then it's not your thing. It'll pop up as because they typed in his number. It'll look like he's calling you on your contact, everything. It'll pop up. You'll pick up the phone.
This
and
was somebody that really hacked into our shit. And was going through, because the next thing they did was through with clients, and they were like reaching out to clients talking about, we need your credit card information.
That's why I was just gonna say they probably did that to try to get access to your clients, to where they think the money is.
But the clients know. That's the great thing with having the relationship. The client knew, like, it was such a red flag because we have a relationship with clients that it was like,
it was out of the ordinary.
Why are you asking me for? So they came to us before.
It's wild though. They went in emails, bro, and like we're like trying to figure out like, oh, this is how she talks, and like using like trying to speak like her. Using like words that she would use and stuff. It's crazy. We had to go to the state police and everything.
On the caption on the post, hey babe, like thing. I'm over there like typing like, hey babe, you're killing it. So proud of you, queen.
Wild stuff.
A caption or else like what?
And then or she'll do like a post. She'll be like, hey, edit this and then send it to me. I'll do the caption. And then I go and see the caption. I'm like, holy shit, everyone knows that I control the social media too. Like it's a 2-part thing. And then I'm over here calling people, hey babe. So
do you see a lot of that too? So you run A&D social media fully. So you get the inbox.
So she'll handle the messages, the inbox and things like that, because they'll ask stuff about apparel or stuff that she might know behind closed doors, like back house type of stuff.
I'm a big voice memo. I like for them to hear my voice too. I want them to know like, hey, you're actually talking to me.
And it's easier if you're just doing 100 things at once.
So she'll handle like the DMs, but besides that, I'll just do the posting aspect of it. I post and get out.
What's one of the biggest success stories that you've had with one of your clients?
Probably would have to be our parents.
I was gonna say probably our moms.
Really?
And then obviously my dad with his records. Yeah,
we've helped our moms lose a lot of weight, and feel really good and comfortable. In their skin. You guys do the whole diet, the whole work. You do it from start to finish. Like if you have a goal, this is how you're gonna do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys use Trainerize?
We initially were very like strict instruction. He was like a prep coach, so he would prep people to get on stage. When we opened up A&D, we wanted like more sustainability lifestyle, like people really making these changes but feeling good and being able to sustain them. So we switched, but everything is definitely like nutrition plan, accountability.
He kind of laid the blueprint down for programs, we call them. So he started FBL as the first was it 8-week program when it first started, or 10-week the whole time?
10.
So it's been 10-week programs, and then after that, we started our own that was called Revved Up. So it's like a little bit of boxing, a little bit of weightlifting. And then again, as the trainers start to come in, they started their own programs. And now we all have our own type of 8-week to 10-week program that they'll sign up for. They get meal plans, check-ins with our in-body composition scan, and then obviously the training that goes along with that coach. And then whatever else they want to include with their own personal thing. It's kind of all personalized, but.
Yeah, Sheena's thinking about doing a competition or
I want to do it once in my life.
she would do
like,
awesome
I don't
at
have
it.
to
She's
do
got
it a lot.
she's got what it takes for it. She's a
Yeah.
hard worker.
Yeah.
And I think with a little bit of guidance towards like the diet, and because like you just said, when we go to the gym sometimes, like right now, it's aggravating that we don't get a good workout in because we're so focused on like,
content.
for me, my businesses and my phone's always going off. I'm emailing, I'm doing this and doing that.
I was gonna.
And she's trying to record, she's trying to, content related
Yeah.
now, which is like, it's ruining the workouts.
I was gonna
Yeah.
chime in when she was doing it, but I wanted to let her say what she was gonna say. But I feel like obviously she's, like we said, the raw edit queen. Like you
Yeah.
can just kind of go on there, give them raw footage. But if you ever want like consistent work, I would say like separate it between you get your workouts in, and then on a Sunday you bring 4 different outfits. You bring 4 different outfits.
Yeah.
You go through your workouts from the week.
Thought of that.
You film all of it, and then you film it in bulk, and you have your workouts for the week. You edit
True.
them, and then do that. It's probably the easiest way for it to not affect your workout, because videoing while you're working out, you're taking more time in between your sets. You're running to a camera that you just set up a tripod on.
Easiest
And
way, man, is
but you have to
hitting
be
somebody up that wants to come to the gym with you and having them hold the camera,
True.
having somebody to
Mhm.
record you.
Yeah,
That's the
too.
beauty of
Having to
A&D.
go back
Yeah,
in
there's
one
always
day a
someone
week.
there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the whole idea of I am content and getting comfortable with that is the best thing, because
Mhm.
people like to see flaws too,
True. That's
and
right.
they want to see the imperfections,
It's a good
and they relate
balance.
more to it. At least I know I do. Personally.
Yeah. For you guys, like I feel like obviously you guys really like hone in on the relationship aspect of it,
Yeah.
and tag team, and then you guys like this really solid team. So again, it'd be tough to like have someone come and film for you, or you film him and then him film you, so it kind of looks like separated. What I feel like they did a really good job on too is, and what like really gauges the likes for them now, again shifting it from like, I was going to say this earlier too with her, I feel like she's done a really good job by not getting, she's doing a video in a one piece. Again, you're going to get a lot of creeps that will end up following you. It goes from like, she could have easily had 60,000 perverts following her and just liking it because they like her ass. Or it could be people that are genuinely coming into the gym that are struggling, that want to obviously feel empowered, feel confident within their skin. And that's what she's done a really good job at doing it too. But I feel like their family content, even with him and my mom, them two together, them
Yeah.
incorporating Blake when he does his kid classes, like people love that. And that's
Yeah,
what
I
really
agree.
gauges it. So like you
I
two
agree.
being together is going to be like a rocket ship, like taking
Yeah.
off,
Thank you. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
for
something
sure.
I do admire, again, with the whole your family concept, the fact that you guys have longevity together. You've been solid couple, and I know any relationship is an up and down. Even if we're talking about our relationship with our kids, it's up and down and here and out. So the fact that you guys have stayed strong together is just
Commendable.
Totally
Very,
commendable.
very amazing.
Love it. I look up to you. I look up to you and your wife. I know you guys started very young in life. Your mom was
45 years. She was 10, I was 12.
10 and 12. I thought it was 15.
other
So
way
10
around.
and 12.
Other way around.
She was 10 and I was
14 years
12.
old, and they had my sister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was
No.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm over it. I'm thinking of
incredible.
something. Sorry.
She was
Yeah,
15
that's my
when
bad.
she had my first
Mhm.
daughter. I was 17.
Wow.
That
Yes,
is
yeah. That's one of my biggest, even like when I do the TV show, like they do little shows, like before my thing there, I had the news come in and ask me questions, and as soon as I say 45 years together, my wife, well, hold on, they just forget all about they go right to 45 years.
That's a
It
story. I
doesn't
mean, that's a
matter.
story in its own. That's
Beautiful.
that, you don't
it's
see
a-
that
It's
anymore.
a
You
beautiful
don't.
story. Like I said, I feel that's one of my biggest.
Well, yeah, it tells a lot
accomplishment.
about you.
Big,
It tells a lot about you. It tells
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
about your family, and I can see why you guys are so
Yeah.
tight, because you're leading the ship.
So many families are fractured and broken, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you see a
we all
lot.
have trauma as it
Every-
is, But the fact that you guys can deal and
Deal
process
with it,
with
yeah.
that trauma together is just a whole nother
Yeah.
level. And I hope
Yeah.
that, you know, more and more as we need to take it back to the basics.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
basics.
Rockefellers and them, the Rothschilds,
yeah,
they broke the
basic,
family
yeah,
units
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And so now
Yeah.
we're at the stage where we're recognizing that, and it
Yeah.
needs
Yeah.
to, something needs to happen, but we can't save the whole world. We just
No.
have to
Mhm.
save
save
ourselves,
family.
and then we can
Yeah.
save
Yeah,
others.
yeah,
and
yeah,
you guys
exactly,
are that
exactly,
example.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
exactly,
beautiful.
Exactly.
I've
Yeah, I
cried
think
like
it's
almost 5 times
definitely-
during this already.
It
It's
is.
so
It is.
cool.
My wife's like my best friend. too, so
Yeah, I love
it is,
that.
yeah.
She's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
And you guys
so
are best
precious.
friends, which is
Yeah, oh, yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I can relate with that because me and my son have a very similar
Yeah,
relationship. You know, he's my best friend, and
Yeah.
I know he looks at me the same, and it's an awesome thing.
It's-
It's really the
it's-
best. It is.
It's
the best.
definitely something that like you again, he's my dad before anything. So that respect level is always there. You'll hear some people might hear our conversations and think otherwise because we're going back and forth and bickering
Yeah.
like we're best friends. But again, the respect
There's
is always there.
respect, yeah.
And obviously again, I'm the only this way with him because he's like my idol. He's the guy I look up to. He's my superhero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's like what it is. So when I'm envisioning on the man I want to become, it's him. You know what I mean? So it's like that's like what I have to look up to, and then it's the best feeling ever. It's
That's
I'm telling you,
cool.
you and your son are gonna have a good bond. You keep that way.
My father and we have a really good relationship, and my father and my mother have been together for a long time too. It's the same thing. We're
Really?
like the same thing. It's like the
Yeah.
same thing. But
Awesome.
you know what I would say is, as great as the relationships I've had with my father, if we had a television show, there'd be like not really anything to watch.
Mm.
But like if they had a television show, it'd be fucking shows to watch.
Really?
Really?
There'd be already so many
So-
seasons.
so we're-
There'd be so many seasons. There'd be episodes. It'd be crazy.
We're gonna do a documentary, kind of not a documentary. We're gonna do a show where we go into people's businesses and we spend a day with them,
Oh, it's awesome.
and we get to know them,
yeah.
and we get to
Yeah.
kind of see their daily routine. So
It's
I'm
a
actually,
reality TV.
Our clients,
Yeah,
every
I would
day,
love to do
But
it
it's
with you
gonna
guys.
be more
Upstairs in the
like
gym,
a
downstairs,
follow-up.
every
Like
single time.
whoever
Yeah.
we do an episode with, we're gonna go more into detail about
Yeah.
what actually they do behind the scenes.
So
Love that.
Yeah.
That's
we're gonna
awesome.
meet them in the
Like a
morning,
follow-up.
wake
Yeah.
up with them, see what their routine is, see
Day
what
in
they
the life.
eat, just
Yeah,
a day in the
day in
life
the
with
life.
our
You
with
better
our
make sure
people.
you're up at 3:30.
It has
4
to be
a.m.
3:30, okay.
Hey,
they get to the gym at
I
like
love
3:30,
that.
4
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah, we just started the
better be
morning
ready to
gym.
wake
We
up.
just started it. And,
Yeah, we're at-
it's
we gotta
it's honestly
still-
changing my life.
First, that starts with a prayer. Come on, God, one more day.
Yeah.
One more
Yeah, you
day.
got
Let's
it.
go.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
starts us,
Thank
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got another day with you.
Yep. Yeah, we just started doing that, implementing,
The 5
waking
a.m.
up in the
club.
morning, and
Oh,
Mhm.
good.
it's
Yeah.
a great feeling. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
It
used
really
to
is.
do that in
Can
the
you do it?
military.
He wakes
but-
up at 2:30
Yeah, he was telling me. I
Yeah,
was gonna
that's
dig
right.
into that a little bit.
every day, almost except for Wednesday and Sundays. And there's not anything about me that ever says, "Oh, you know something, I want to be one of those morning workout people." Like ever. I just can't. I need my slow morning fuel, get my mind right, then go. Like there's no, I would never.
But the
be able
best
to
thing
do
with
it.
your
because-
mind right is what we do. Like
Yeah.
get up early in the morning. Just like you're
Yeah.
alone. There's nobody. You're alone.
Yeah.
Quiet.
And by 12
Then
o'clock
you
hits,
can process your day. Okay, I'm do this. And again, like by 8 o'clock, maybe it says
funny
good
'cause
morning. Yo, you feel like it's
we
noon
have
already.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
about
but when noon does hit, it feels like it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you got so much done
It's
already
almost
throughout the
done, yeah.
day.
the other day to conquer. We have like about
Mhm.
what four of the things. You, Alessandra, Athena, Courtney. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those I'm in at 5:30 usually. I'm not the 3:30, but I'll come in at 5:30.
still good.
That's my first
It's still
client. So
good.
5:30 I'll come in. But we have the other trainers at the gym that they're not there until 8 o'clock is the earliest that they're coming in.
Yeah,
So then when they come in, we have literally like a 5:30 crew that comes in from 5:30 to 6:30. That's our first class
Yeah.
at the gym Monday through Friday. And those trainers might not even know them. They might not even exist because again, they don't come in that early.
don't
So it's
see
like,
them.
we have like
Wow,
two
that's
different, completely different
incredible.
members. Like it's
Yeah.
we have the morning crew and the night crew.
Do you
Yeah.
see a difference between the types of personalities, or it's just?
that's a good question.
I mean, because you have 5
Yeah,
a.m.
that is a good question. I never really notice it in the moment because you'll see if someone's a morning person or if they're not a morning person. They have their hood on. They're like, "Come talk to me," or they're like, "Good morning, like, how are you?" So it's
That's
either
me.
those two. That's when you notice the most difference. But again, if you're not with them throughout the day, you kind of don't really gauge it. Well, obviously, saying that by 12 o'clock, you feel like you already conquered the day. Because again, there's no better thing. I mean, Donnell walks out of the gym at 7 o'clock. We might be there a little bit later in the morning, but like you've already handled your clients, you're good for the day. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
have the whole day to
true.
yourself. We have that time freedom that you can kind of go about your day, do whatever you have to do, go to the gym, work on a reel that day or whatever it may be. And then later on, if you have night clients, come in for night clients. But it's amazing that we have that privilege for sure.
You don't feel sleep deprived? I didn't.
No, I mean, no. I at this point in time, no, because like when I by the time I'm done in the AM, I'm able to come back. I can bring Blake. I bring Blake to school. You know what I mean? And then I like to meditate, and so I meditate, and that's my time to like just relax. You know what I mean? While my body is really kind of relaxing and my mind is just doing its thing.
Yeah.
And I used to nap. Like, but now I've gotten to the point where like it's hard for me to nap. Like, you know what I mean? I'll lay there and you can't call it napping. Like,
We just had this conversation today.
Yep. It is.
You know, it's like I don't need to sleep, but I want to meditate though. You know what I mean? Like I want to just meditate. I don't want to hear anything, and that's why I like getting up early, because when I get up, like it's my time.
Yeah.
Like it's quiet. Like, you know, nobody's texting me. Nobody's posting anything. You know, nothing's going on. Nobody's out on the street. Nothing. I can think whatever is going on in my mind is I'm not being influenced by anything but myself. You know, and because like, you know, and that's where I feel like that's where it's the real pure thoughts, you know, because when you get up, when everybody else is getting up and the kids are up and this, everything is going on, well, you're automatically influenced by everything. You're not able to really think your own thoughts. You know, they're just intrusive. So when I'm up though, like the only thing that's up, it's just me. It's just me there. So even my ride in, you know what I mean? Whatever it is I want to do, I get to connect more with myself, I feel. And I think that that's the only reason why I continued to keep doing it, because I was one of them same people that never came into the gym before, you know, 8 o'clock when we first opened, and I was there late nights and stuff. But now it's completely different, and I value being able to get up early. I enjoy it. And in the days where I don't get up early, it's like, again, I'm just like my body's up, and I'm just like, I'll just be laying there, but like I'm up.
Right.
Like,
It's not necessarily like a nap. It's just like you're closing your eyes, you're meditating. It's quiet time. You're relaxing. It's rest.
Lucid
You know?
I feel like personally too, it kind of like waking up that early kind of gives you like, whether it be mindset or even physically, kind of gives you like the upper edge on the people that are waking up.
100%.
Because we, even when we were waking up, he still wakes up this early, but we were doing a program together. It's one of our programs. We call it Project 60. It's just 60 days of just kind of grinding. You have to do 2 workouts a day, 1 outdoor, 1 indoor. And
it's kind of like that 75 hard.
Yep, that was what it was inspired by.
So we did start that.
We did 75 hard once, and we saw amazing results. And then we were like, how can we kind of like,
you guys did
add our own spin onto it, and then 2,
in the winter,
so then 2 also kind of bring it into our clients and give them also like take the guesswork out, because 75 hard, you'll notice it if you guys start it. It's just an app. You just download it, and then you got to check off those boxes.
Did Andy Frisella make that? Did he make that?
Yeah, it's his program.
You guys know what 75 hard is?
Yeah, we
did.
You
did it too?
No, we didn't do it.
So his
we witnessed it.
Yeah,
we witnessed it.
So his app is very just self-explanatory. You literally just check off the boxes.
Right.
At the end of the day, day 1 completed. The next day you wake up, you do the same thing. For a client that's trying to change their life, sometimes they don't know how to diet. Sometimes they don't know exactly what to do for workouts. So we take that guesswork out of it. So that's kind of how we did our own little spin on it. We call it Project 60. We do it for 60 days. So we did our 75 hard, but again, waking up at like 3:30, 4 a.m. We had to be out of the door for 4 a.m. because we have clients at 5:30 at that time. So it's like, you're on the road, it's snowing, our feet are soaked, we're running out there, but there becomes like a time during your run when it goes from being like, damn, I'm miserable, to the point where you're like, damn, I'm a badass.
That's
like,
what
no one's out here.
everybody
We're
tells
not
me
alone
about
sometimes.
that.
Like we're
He's not a morning person, so I used to get up and put like a motivation under his door, knock on the door, I have motivation.
Wow, I'm gonna start doing that now.
Every morning you wake up for motivation
speech.
speech. I'm not gonna lie, it gets you up. There's one specifically
kind
that
did
I
you put
remember
on?
clear as day,
Yeah.
and it's this alarm clock, and it's going off, and it's like, and it's like, oh, the alarm clock again, huh?
Oh
You're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
snooze that motherfucker?
That's Jocko Willings.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Jocko.
He's gonna
Yeah.
snooze it again, and yep. Jocko's a badass too.
We had a conversation at the Christmas party about just like a whole bunch of stuff, spirituality, just like manifestation. When you have those quiet times in the morning and stuff, are you manifesting? Are you kind of thinking about things and goals that you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, the way I am, I'm always thinking.
Yeah, I can tell.
My mind is always
Yeah.
racing, and so that's the part of the reason why I enjoy it so much, because even like when I'm home, like, sometimes like just how I am, I like to be like alone and think. I like to ponder. And even Alicia sometimes, so she's just like, I know she's like, she's hearing me when I'm talking, but she's not listening, because like, I'm the depth, I go like way below the surface on things.
Yeah.
And so it's nice sometimes I'm completely fine with just thinking by myself, and I don't have to like share everything that I'm thinking about. And so for me, getting up at that time is I do a lot of thinking. And I guess manifesting, yes, you can call it that. But yes, I do. I feel it is a very like spiritual time when you get up and you do have that complete like it's like the world is yours.
Yeah.
No, they say early bird gets the worm. Yeah, like
Sure.
it's a great feeling. And I even tell my clients, because the crazy thing is I would love to also be able to get my workout in. I can't, because I have to train people, but at that time too. But I tell them, like, to carry that confidence of finishing the workout throughout the day from the beginning of the day is important too, because you get a certain level of confidence after you finish your workout. There's a certain level of I feel good, and you're going to carry that with you home when everybody's waking up. That's what you're starting your day with. That's how you're making your decisions throughout the day, so on and so forth. You're that person throughout the day.
Yeah.
The whole day.
I agree. 100%, man.
And so, and I just, again, I think that, it's very beneficial for people. I know it's beneficial for me, and it has been, but sleeping until 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, man, like
I think if I did that now, I'd feel bad about myself. Now that we started waking
my
up.
alarm goes off at 7 to get the kids up, and I can't see myself waking. Like, no matter how many motivational speeches and books and leaders,
No matter how many times you try it,
like, wake up and get it done, and all that. Like, even him right now saying like, oh, you carry on. Like, sometimes that 3 p.m. workout for me, after we get Blake from school, all the things, it's like it's needed because I need the release.
Oh yeah.
So like I get what he's saying of like being able to like start your day on that manner, because sometimes I start my day as a raving maniac, screaming like, get ready for school, let's go. And like, so like I get it, but all these years of doing it, it's over a decade now of me trailing, I still like, I'm like, I'd rather be like that mid-morning, like 9 o'clock workout time on.
It's also the
And
beauty.
there's scientific proof that women need like more sleep than men. So it's
I was gonna say
bit,
it's also like the
that
beauty
sleep.
behind like fitness too. It's like, again, they opened up this with the intent of like everyone finding their own balance. Balance is different for you, everyone.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever works for you. You know what I mean? If you're in class every day at 9:30. Why am I? Who am I to say that you're?
I'm working every day.
Exactly.
Double a day.
To an extent, we need to rest more.
Mhm.
We go to the gym too much. Like, you're supposed to rest. You're supposed to have your downtime.
Very important.
We're in that mode right now where we're not resting enough.
Mhm.
So like there is a downside to it. You know what I mean?
100%.
That's
And
right.
we have a hard time finding that balance.
Yeah.
I preach that a lot to my
It's a walking contradiction.
my clients.
You're literally walking contradiction. He preaches it all the time. He gets on him all the time. He's like, Joe, how you gonna tell someone that they can't
but
do
I'm training,
1,000 squats?
when I do this training, I'm training for something that's not putting on muscle thing. I need to bring my body to exhaustion because I'm going 24 hours.
Yeah.
I can't train 1 hour, say, okay, but I'm done and expect to do 24 hours. But for somebody that wants to tone, wants to put on muscle, rest is just as important as you going to the gym. Go to the gym, lift heavy, a lot of reps, whatever it is, but you have to feed yourself the right way. And you have to let yourself recuperate.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to go 100, but then they want to go 20 here. No. It's supposed to be the other way around. When you leave that gym from tearing your muscle, destroying yourself, you go in there, you get the pump, you feel like you're big at home, and then when you relax and you eat, feed your body and relax.
Yeah.
Because they put this body like into exhaustion that your body doesn't know what to do. It just stops burning fat. Well, I'm not burning fat. Well, guess what? I mean, you're going from here to New York on quarter of a tank. You're not putting a full tank. So if you're going to do 2 classes, you're going to do this, do that. You need to eat. You could do all these as long as you have the energy and you're resting. But you cannot do this while your body's beat up. So I'm constantly, rest is so important for for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, sleep. When you see a lot of bodybuilders and stuff like that, like they're big on sleep, resting.
That's me.
You
That's
know,
my downfall. My worst thing is sleep and stretch.
I don't know if you guys see his eye right now.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
bloodshot his
What's
eye
going
is.
on?
No,
with
that's
that?
my wife. I asked her to cook for me. She finds it's not me.
Again, we're fortunate enough to have our clients become like family at this point, and he has a good client who's an eye surgeon, and he was able to go in and get checked. Luckily, it's nothing that's going on, but he was like, Joe, it could be from heavy lifting, lack of sleep, stress,
yeah.
X, Y, and Z. And he's like, but
I'm
you
not
should be all
stressed.
good.
I don't stress.
See, that's
And
my
then-
thing. She says I am. I'm not.
Nah,
I don't
I
feel
don't-
Stress
stress.
is probably the only one that didn't check off,
I
because
don't-
everything
yeah.
else, again, we're
Sleep,
giving the
yeah,
gym a little facelift. I'm like, Dad, let me know when you're going to move that machine. I'll come and help you. He'll get home and be like, I moved it by myself.
Yeah.
Okay, dude.
Stress
But
is.
I
again-
feel like you're the example of, well, you know how a lot of people are conflicted. Do we have a body and a soul? Do we have a body? Like, are we just one thing? I feel like hearing your story, it's more clear to me that we actually have the physical body, which is our vehicle,
Yes.
but we are separate with the spirit and the
Yes,
mind.
yes.
So
you could put
you
when you
can
can
put them
connect that
together
together.
and-
Yeah.
See, I could connect that together. I
Yeah.
think it's weird because people tell you they don't want to see, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't get into religion, but I know there's something within me that created me, that's higher than me,
yeah, a
that
higher
I listen
power.
to. Now I don't know who I'm praying for, whatever. But I always say, whatever created me, whatever higher power it is, I need you right now. I said, I need you right now. You said I could do all things, then I know I can. And I just keep praying simple
where-
prayer. I don't need to sit there do this magical prayer, this and
Right.
that. I said, well, here it is. This is
That's
what I
what-
want to do. Are
Yeah.
we together?
Really,
Yes, I
where the
need you to
difference
connect
maker
to me.
is, because when he's doing his thing, I've said it to people. People always ask me like, "Dude, your dad's a maniac. How the hell does he do it?" Blah blah blah. And it's again the mindset part of it, but again, he's just touched in on like every cylinder you can be touched in on when it comes to like
Yeah.
doing a challenge like this.
Mhm.
Physically, obviously, the physical is like the least important when it comes to this type of thing. The mental and the spiritual like connection that he has. Again, I was telling earlier, when it's time to play a certain song, when it's time to play this, when it's time to see this person, when it's time, like, you have to be able to gauge that. And I know around those like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, even when the supporters that are there to watch him, they're on their air mattresses, they're on their bed, they're sleeping like this, like no one's there. It's ghost town. It's me and him. And it's just
Wow.
like, we're just locked in. I know it's not a song that's going to get him hyped up. There's no playlist on this planet that I can play that's going to get him hyped up.
Mm.
When I see him with his head down, he's just talking to himself. And that's when I just need to step back. Don't say anything. Don't say pick it up, slow it down, whatever it may be. I can't tell him numbers.
Man,
Can't
you
speak about
guys are
anything.
in
It's
sync,
just
man.
spiritual.
That's incredible.
He's talking to his God at that point, and that's his time. That's when it's truly make it or break it. And luckily, we've made it every time. But
Kind of
it's-
like
it's-
labor and delivery too.
Yeah.
That you get to this
Yeah.
point where you don't
Yeah.
need anyone to hold your
Mhm.
hand.
Yeah.
You just need to breathe through
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
And it's amazing. Our
Exactly.
bodies are
So
incredible.
exactly.
Yeah, I can't even.
But you have to believe. You have to believe that.
Underutilized.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's
underutilized.
That's
he's
good.
a
That's a
perfect
good way to put it.
example of like the body is nothing more
Mhm.
than a tool for the
Mhm.
mind to master.
Yes.
And when the mind masters it, it
Mhm.
can do whatever you want it to do. And it can
Mhm.
go as far as you
Oh,
want
yeah.
it to go. Hamstring pulled, glute pulled, it can still squat, it can
Mhm.
still run, it can still do anything. Mentally you stop it, but it can still do anything and everything that you want it to do.
Mm.
It's just that mentally we limit ourselves.
Mhm.
And you have to be like completely locked in.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're completely locked in, then you can
Do
you could
anything.
break a record, right? Like you could do something that has never been done by anybody before. You know, it's
Mm.
crazy.
So
There was
we
a
can
study-
self-sabotage ourselves
Oh, yeah,
into
100%.
Yeah, we do.
There was
Oh,
When you hear Dave Goggins' story, like all the stuff you've been through, and I don't idolize anybody. I'm looking at it. If you're human, you could do it. I could do it too. The only reason I might not be able to do because I don't have that passion to train for that certain event.
Mhm.
But if I put that passion and knowing that I want that, I'm gonna get it. It's like same
Yeah.
thing. If you say I'm gonna do this and you really believe in yourself that I could do it, you could do it. Only have to say,
I
you
did
know,
that
I
with
could do
this.
that. Yeah.
I manifested this all year.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's what
Good.
he is.
Exactly.
Yep,
Exactly.
That's exactly the
Exactly.
passion. If it's
Passion,
there,
exactly.
you
It's
get
there,
what you want.
100%.
What was the toughest record that you broke?
I actually, well, the stairs was not supposed to be beaten. They said there's no way you could beat it. I beat it by 2,000.
So
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, he beat it by a lot more than what it's going to say in the Guinness World Record book.
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying
if we
that
pull
too,
it up right now, is it?
Yeah,
is
let's-
it
not yet. No, so
No,
it'll be under like they call it like under review essentially. So you submit your footage,
I never
submit all the paperwork, and then after that's all submitted, then I'll put it under review. So
Was there somebody from Guinness there?
no, so this is kind of how the
Twice
Guinness.
there was that.
Yeah, the
Oh, no,
Guinness.
one.
No, one time.
Deadlift, right?
Yeah, deadlifts. Yep. So the
other one was live.
the way Guinness works, believe it or not, it's $12,000 just to get them there, just to use their
Oh,
name.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
have
have to pay
you
them.
pay
So
them.
then what
Yeah,
happens
of
is
course.
then you pay their airfare, their food, their stay,
On top of the
everything.
12?
On
What a
top of
little
that.
nice little
Yeah.
hustle
And
they
then they
got.
have
So
to-
that's
then-
why.
then
What?
they're
That's
only
why I
there.
says that I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna have the media there.
They're only
But I'm
there
not
to
gonna
review it
pay
for
the
4 hours.
$12,000.
as well.
I think we
4
should be
hours?
starting
well,
Rhode
that's
Island
like
records.
Forbes.
So
Yeah,
technically-
Forbes does the same thing.
Technically,
Oh,
it's
they're
8
crazy.
hours.
Yeah.
It's 8 hours, but they come here for 2. Like when she got off the plane, she got taken to the thing at 2:00. Then she went to the hotel to review
Are
the
they
footage.
hiring?
And then she came back for the last 2 hours of the event as well, and that's their 8 hours that you get. But then after they review it, they'll announce it right there and then that you're officially a Guinness World Record holder. This last one, the reason that it won't be there right now is because of the fact that we had to submit our own footage. So when you submit it, they have to review it. It goes through a whole process, and then after they watch the whole footage, then they'll give you that. But
I don't even
with
care about it no more. Like
with-
I know I've done it. I mean,
Yeah.
all my life I have proof that I've done it.
Mhm.
I really don't care. Like I said,
with
it's in the media. You Google it, it's on the news. All of them is on the news. See, pop stuff that makes me want to do another one.
Yeah, well, we're gonna sit here.
Well, I wanted to do the bike. You see, I was supposed to do the bike.
So right there where it says
Bike.
61,540, that wasn't the actual record. So he was at 60, I want to say 65,000 is now like technically the record. When we went to go measure those stairs, so we have to take a video of those stairs right there. And when we measured, he goes, yeah, 20 feet. And I was like, Dad, there's a couple inches onto that 20 feet. 20 feet, it's 20 feet. Don't complicate it, because then when you do the numbers, when you count up, every time there has to be a screen in the view of the picture.
Wow, look at all the
And they
people
click
there.
it, and each time it goes up by 20. So every time he does a
Wow.
stair, boom, click it. And that's the feet that he's climbing.
Look, that's an awesome
if it was
shot.
20.2, then it would complicate things in his head.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
But then
that
I go
makes
back
sense.
the next day, I start doing the math, and I'm like, those 2 inches added up to be another few thousand.
Wow.
So he would have had
yeah.
65,000 if we would have let me go into the 2 inches as well, or just like 2 or 3 inches. But then also on top of it too, with this record specifically, the reason that it was like the unbeatable record was, so we were originally trying to do it in the Omni, so that way he can go up floors.
Mm.
And then everyone that has done this record prior to him has used an elevator down.
Oh,
The descent
really?
does not matter. So the descent doesn't count. So every time
It's
he walked down
worse.
those stairs, it doesn't matter.
So it's
But if you
double
notice,
then.
it's
Descent
way
is-
worse on your knees when you're descending. He has to go down backwards towards the end. So he's going up
Really?
and then down, up and then down backwards. So that's where the scary effect comes in, because he can just slip and fall. But I mean, you never
Well,
even
for
know.
the first 5 hours, I was fine, but then after 6 hours,
Yeah.
coming in my knees.
Had to change the technique.
I can't
sideways,
imagine.
I
everything.
started praying to how there's no way. I started, that's, oh my God. You always have doubt and negative things you're not going to do. You still got 10 hours, you got 14 hours.
Mhm.
Then for some reason, after I said, man, I don't have to, God, I need
Mhm.
you. I need your strength right now. And I catch myself, no word of a lie, catch myself going backwards. I said, oh, hold on. They don't care how you go down.
Mhm.
Oh, wow, this is fine. Now I go up, go down. I said, boom, now I got it. And I know I got it.
We were thinking about building a slide slide down the
cool.
stairs
Yeah.
at one point,
Yeah.
because of the fact that it was like, again, they didn't care on how you
How you go
descended.
down.
The Omni, unfortunately, wasn't going to let us do it because it was a 24-hour event. They would have had
Mm.
staff and all this other
Yeah.
stuff and
Oh, you were going to
liabilities
do it at that main.
at the Omni, so we can go
Right.
all the way up, and then he could just pop in an elevator and go down.
Go down.
Then the other side, we did it
Oh.
at the Citizens Bank campus in Johnston. So when we went there, we also saw that they had an elevator, but it was
Mm.
only 4 flights. And then also the flights, you have to like go up the stairs and then take a little walk and then go up
Oh,
it. It's
so
not
that
continuously. Yeah. So it would have added time. We would have had someone in the elevator every single time, timing it perfectly. The amount of time he was in the elevator would have taken away from his record. So the guy that beat it had 400 feet an ascend and then all the way down just in an elevator,
Oh,
where he
man.
had to go 20, down, 20 down, 20 down.
So
20
really,
down.
your
Yeah.
numbers are
Nah.
double.
His number is
Sucks.
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah, his
yeah.
number is
Down.
insane, and it on paper it doesn't show that. We know that,
Yeah.
but again,
That's
it is what it
crazy.
is. But yeah, that's what makes that one even more impressive.
So what do you guys got next? What are you working on right now?
We honestly, it's so funny because we were just having a conversation the other day, and I was like, "So, what are like some of your New Year's like resolutions, your goals?" Just to see like that alignment. We're always making sure that we're connected in that way,
Mhm.
and it's so funny because we're at a point in our life where I feel like we're always like full blown out sprinting for the next goal, but we've accomplished so much, and we're at like I hate to even use the word complacent because I feel like that's what I tell myself, like, oh, you're being complacent right now, but it's not. It's just that we've accomplished so much and we've never really slowed down to enjoy it and take it all in. And so like I feel like for this year it's exactly that, like still growing, always one foot in front of the other. It's never, again, a complacency and staying still, but definitely just being able to slow down and take everything that we've accomplished together in. We do have like a new company that we just locked arms with, Make Wellness. Advocare took off for us. It was like what really helped us to grow to where we are now from a leadership standpoint, just having people, to look up to really learn and grow from. But we never really had a vehicle after Advocare. Their business model completely switched up on us. We never strayed from products because we, again, wholeheartedly believed in them, loved them, saw results from them. Donnell still takes, their product every day for his pre-workout. But it's never, like, we never found a company that we really felt aligned with, that, from a product standpoint, that we can confidently share with our clientele, take it on a daily basis for ourselves, feel and see a difference, and still have a business model to build and give others opportunity. So finally this fell into our lap. It was something that I seen in September, and before I even told anyone, I saw something on social media. It was one of the girls that was super successful with Advocare. I followed her and her story just popped up, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm really big into like the holistic remedies right now.
It's peptides, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And I saw like the wellness and the green and all this, and I was like, what is it? So I never reach out to anybody about anything, but I like reached out to her. I'm like, hey, can you tell me more about this? Because I'm really trying to like find something that, aligns with me, but also again can help me to create more opportunity.
Are you looking for something that's almost similar to Advocare?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So it's allowing us now, we're 2.5 months in, product standpoint, game changing results from our clients. I mean, they were even about it themselves. Like they're offering marketing right now because results have been insane, but it's allowing us now to have another vehicle that allows others opportunity. Even within our trainers, like our trainers make incredible income and have, lots of freedoms, as he stated, but to be able to offer more and something else, to always have opportunity for people to grow is important to us. So I feel
Nicole
like
and Greg brought us into Make as well. We just haven't, I've been watching your stories. I've been watching her stories, seeing how you're incorporating them. And
are peptides dangerous, or is it the same thing as a testosterone or something?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be completely transparent. When I first learned about peptides, it was years ago, like years and years and years ago, and it was all injectables. And so if you wanted to take something like, people literally
BPC
bodybuilders,
157,
right?
I've done it.
different
I've done the
things,
injectable BPC.
right?
I've done
Or
the
insulin
Smorlin,
things, or HGH, growth hormone, things along those lines. This is something totally different. And so, and
similar results though. Like, is there peptides out there that give you muscle strength, that give you muscle gain, burn fat,
that can help with those things? But I don't think you're ever gonna find a supplement that's the equivalent to you taking like, testosterone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And substituting with that, totally
different things. Yeah.
Especially like a natural and non-injectable one as well. You know what I mean?
Totally different.
When you're going down that route where things are going to be exactly what they state what they are, and all those things, and a very reputable product, you're not going to probably see that same equivalent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How was it when Advocare decided to stop their payment plan? Because that is a huge income. And we talked a little bit about it with Nicole and Greg and how it affected their lives drastically. Because one day you guys are making 6 figures, the next day they're saying we're changing it up. How did you overcome that? That must have been a little kink in your plans and life.
Yeah, I mean, well, not to downplay that at all, because obviously that's a huge deal. But I think when we first started to make money in Advocare, you know, I was our second year, our largest year that we made it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We made a good amount of money, and then it was like almost like we looked at each other and it was like, well, we need to make sure we do something so that we can
make sure
You had a
if
plan
this
B.
ever
Keep it.
happens.
Yeah.
because it wasn't even necessarily about the money as much as it was about the freedom, like
Mm-hmm.
you know, just the time freedom. Like it, that's what the money was buying us. It was buying us. I left my job. I was working at National Grid.
Wow.
She left her, and I had a really good position.
That's a good job.
Yeah, really great position,
Yeah.
pension, all of that I had, and I left before she did, you know, and she had gotten involved with it before I did,
Wow.
you know, but it was sound. And I'm just more like, you know, if this is going to be plan A, forget about plan B. Let's just focus on plan A and give it 100%. And so the time freedom that it offers us was everything. It was us able to, like she said, travel to meet team. And, you know, anytime you do direct sales, it's not, don't get me wrong, you need a great product, but you need more than that to build a business. You need a great team. Like the thing that made us successful with Advocare was who we were. It was who we were with everybody. It was how we get and transition people from, you know, follower, fan, friend, family.
Yeah.
It was that. It was creating that. It was creating an environment where people felt comfortable to make progress in, and they were helped full circle. It was creating an environment where people like could look and say, hey, you know what, that person looks like me, and that person has the same issues that I have, and they were connected. They didn't feel apart. They felt a part of something, and that's what made, you know, us so successful with Advocare. That's what made our team so big. I think we had one of the largest downlines in Advocare.
And so the transition to like answer the question though, so we were doing online training. So we built an online training brand. A&D Fitness was online before it was ever a physical location.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were building online with Advocare, we had 2 6-figure businesses that allowed us to say, well, wait a minute, because now we have all these locals that are with us. Like we had
So
let's open and so we were at an Advocare Success School. It was like a summit, and one of our teammates was like, hey, you know, I have this place that I have my business running, but like I can sublease it because it would help me take it off my hands.
We got back into training with Nicole and
Greg, then we
first.
So we were instructing at Body Walk, and we were doing personal training. He was doing personal training there. And so when he gave us that opportunity, we had already had that in-person feel and vibe, and we were like, okay, well, this is definitely something we want to like build our brand bigger. So then we opened up. So when Advocare happened, we were in the gym. That was our first year in the gym. So we now we're already building something else.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a smooth transition. We kept Advocare as retail in the gym. Mm-hmm. We also were big on customer base. So we had a business like with leaders and builders, but we were a customer based business. So we had that opportunity was still there. You could still make 40% on your sales.
Right.
So we still had the income flowing from Advocare. Yeah. We were selling retail. And so it really wasn't like as much of a hit as it was for some of the leaders and that were just solely doing Advocare, that solely were building with just like business builders.
Yeah.
If you had a good retail and customer base, it wasn't really like a big
huge
hit.
crush.
That
good.
company, man, was like the like what they like. Even though they did that to us, you can look back now and say, wow, but like what a company, because like what they did in terms of leadership, the training that they gave us, the CEOs that they sat us down with, people that they had come and train us,
the places we were able to go.
Why did they stop? Why try to fix something that's not broken?
Charlie, the owner of the company, the man who created it, he soon after passed away. And his wife and his 3 daughters were there to pretty much continue his dream. And what happens to every big company? What happens to every big company? Eventually, what is it? Who comes after them? Is it the SEC? What are these regulations? Big. What was it?
No, you're talking about the people that oversee the direct
The
sales.
Like the
regulatory,
board?
yes, the regulatory board
Yeah,
that
yeah.
oversees. They go after everyone. And
They
any
did
big
that with
time-
Herbalife.
Yeah,
Everyone,
yeah,
every
yeah,
all of
yeah,
them.
too.
Yeah.
So they were
They-
all at that time direct sales. They were just like looking at every single and like
Oh, the
Herbalife
SEC.
had a big
Right, the
lawsuit.
SEC.
Yeah.
That's the SEC.
Yes,
so
yes.
Yeah.
Had a big lawsuit, but like all the direct selling companies were all getting like whacked.
Was
But they just decided, as a business, to keep it going and also maximize on whatever money they were making to switch the model up, but still have the products
Yeah.
available.
Isn't it funny when like you made a comment earlier about like the freedom that it was able to give you and like you wanted that, you know,
It bought your
you don't,
time.
one of the issues that you don't, one of the things that you don't think about when you don't have money is when you get money, what to do with it.
Mhm.
It's like once you get a large sum of money, it's scary. You're like, all right, I don't want to lose this. What do I do with this so I can have this freedom and not just blow this?
As soon as I get, I'll let you know.
Yeah, it can be a little, it can be a
When
lot.
we see
It's
your
just-
brand new 2025 Honda, we'll know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is true though. It is because you want to create the safety.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. It's
Like-
just not. It's just something that you don't think about when you don't have it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm. Another thing I feel like we don't think about too is like if you are building a business and you are seeing success, when you're building a business, you're fully like engaged and just go.
Yeah.
Right, like it's like you're answering phones, you're taking calls. Like we at one point, man, like we had totally developed red, yellow, and green time, and we had to
Like,
we
that's
had
right
to
time,
develop
no
this.
phone, like, get it
Oh,
away.
nice. I
Yes,
love
like it
that.
had to like even still today, like I had Tuesdays, it's like nothing, don't do nothing, and that's like all the way something I learned all the way back in Advocare is to make sure you take your time off, make sure people know, like, oh, don't even call him, it's Tuesday, like, you know what I mean? And we had to develop that because at one point it was every time was green.
Yeah.
It was go.
That's
It was
how
just
We,
go.
we
That's
have
where
that
we're at right
conversation
now.
often.
Right, like, you
We're
know,
on
Yeah.
green right now.
10 p.m., 11 p.m., still running calls up. It's only 9
Yeah,
o'clock
yeah.
over here. So we're still
Mhm.
working. And then eventually it's like you do all of that. And like, you know how, I mean, you pass so many places where it's like, you know, this, I just want to get here. I just want to get, you pass them so many times.
Yeah.
And to the point where it's like, I don't know how to stop and slow down and just be here. Here is not even enough anymore.
Mhm. That's where
Right.
meditation comes in, right?
Right.
Being
Big time.
present in
Big
the
time.
now.
Mhm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like that's where I'm at. Like when we're doing make now, but I feel like a part of me was like, but do we need it? Like, you know, it's like, you know, we can make more money, but like, what are we gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Like, you know, what are we gonna do with the money? The
Right.
more money. Like, what are we doing with the more money that we already have? Like, what are we gonna do with more? Like,
Yeah.
why do we even need more?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Because isn't it like after a certain amount of money, more money doesn't bring any more happiness?
There is a
Right.
figure for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
For
it's
sure.
like, what
Once
is it,
you
10
have
million? When you hit
10
10
million,
million,
Yep.
It
the
is
next
10
10 million doesn't make you feel like nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is 10
And
million.
it doesn't even make a change in your life anymore. Right? So,
Yep.
of course, maybe like we could already be there. But why? Because I mean, I don't live my life like that anyways. So if the money is already accumulating based off of the way we're living our life, you know what I mean? I'm at the same point where it's like, well, what is another couple $100,000?
Mhm.
What am I like? Why?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, for sure.
and so I'm
And
trying
what are you
to
gonna
figure
do
out
for that couple $100,000?
Right.
What
Yeah.
time are you gonna
Right.
give up?
Yeah.
And yes, and what am I gonna miss by taking on more clients and my daughter? What am I gonna have to go on social media to see and my daughter doing rather than me being there? You know what I mean? Like how much longer are we gonna continue to keep doing takeout and stuff rather than sitting down and do meals? No, you know what I mean? And starting to
Yeah,
set
man.
some of these things that I had when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
when am I gonna finally like slow down enough to be able to be able to provide that to my family?
Yeah.
And when am I going to start doing these things so that way we have our traditions, and you know, we're not just go. You know, what are we missing in the go? What's happening? What's being damaged? Something's happening. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't, before it's too late, I want to fix it. Like, you know,
it's up to you to figure that out.
right? And we see so much with kids nowadays, and you know, they're just, the parents and the kids are so disconnected. The kids are moving at a pace that's so rapid that the parents they're disconnected, and then you don't know what's going on in these kids. The kids are depressed. These kids are trying to commit suicide. They're doing all of these things, and they're in a total different position than I remember being when I was a kid. And so it's like, man, there's some things that, it's great that we're able to have so much success, but what we need to do is take some of the success and use it to put our energy back where it's needed most.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at. And so it's kind of like the balance of like, yes, let's continue to create the security for ourselves and take on these opportunities so that way we can, maximize, what we have. But at the same time, let's not chase so much that we lose our own essence, and that, we miss the things that are probably going to be the most important things,
Yeah, that's you guys have that yin and yang going on. That synergy is really strong because you need that drive. You need to have that mentality like, okay, are we being complacent? Are we too comfortable? But at the same time, you have to say, no, we need to be grounded. And so that's what's beautiful about that. That's amazing.
What's next for you guys, father and son?
Well, I just need a couple of calm on my bank account.
Couple zeros.
He wanted a challenge this year. He wanted to do he got really into cycling. That was another thing that he did, like in between the challenges, and he just like the fighting thing, he bought a bike and he went to go buy the bike off him. He put it on top of his Honda. He actually deassembled it and put it in the back seat. And the guy asked him, "Hey, what are you buying the bike for? It's a really good bike thing." He's like, "Oh, I have a 100-mile race coming up." They call them centuries, and they're like, "You have a century coming up?" I'm like, how long you been riding for? He's like, "Never rode."
Oh my God.
He's like, "Oh, dude, he doesn't know that this guy's again world record for this guy, world record for this, and all this stuff." So,
so is that coming up? Is that
no? He already did it.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah, but it was Boston and Newport. It was a race to the beach or ride to the beach or something like that. And he did it. He placed top 10 in his thing. And
wow,
that was my first time. They go age
bracket,
and advanced. They had beginners,
but he finished in the top 10 anyway.
Was David Goggins there?
What's your ethnic background? Cape Verdean? Okay. Yeah.
Joey's toxic trait is that he thinks he can do anything. The flip side is he can't. But like the crazy thing is
he can.
The crazy thing is it's been like this for years because like, and Alicia and I, we've been together for so long. So like I remember like all the way even before track. I remember we were we had like maybe it was during track. But we had a paintball. We went and we did paintball.
We're doing that tomorrow.
Man,
we're going with the Bolettos.
Yeah.
So we went and paintball and like we had a blast. It was really fun. And he loved it, and that was all it took.
He went and bought a professional gun.
Everything.
The next time we went, he had spent thousands. I'm not like thousands of dollars on a gun. He had the whole suit, the mask. I'm talking about the gun was like
do it right, family.
It was like a little fun thing.
He was ready to go do real paintballing. Like, 'cause they got like leagues and stuff.
They saw him with his getup and they were like, "Hey, what league you think you want to go play in our league?" It's like,
his gun was so powerful. Like after that, we didn't even. I don't think we ever even went back again to paintball ever. This was years ago. They have the trigger where it's like you just touch it.
Touch the trigger.
That his thing,
kickback.
Just touch it.
Are you gonna rent the ones tomorrow?
Bullets.
Yeah, I don't have any.
So you're gonna notice the trigger is like you have to actually like pull it. You need some force to be on. His you could literally go like this.
Yeah, I've seen that they have the two
shooting like 30 bullets by the time you get 3 out.
But then we ran track. The same thing with track. I ran track in high school. Alicia ran track in high school, and so Joey, he's like, "Oh, I could probably do that too." So he starts running, and he was good because in track it's like all ages. Like you go in your age group, and they have the what is it, RATF or something you can run, and man, before you know it, he was full one-piece suit, customized one-piece suit. Where's Joey? He's at Brown University. Brown, what's he doing at Brown? He has hired a coach from Brown. He's getting trained at Brown to race, like like that. Like he's been like this forever. Yeah, and he's been like this forever.
It's trickling down to the family, man.
For sure.
I can hope that I can emulate my family the way you do, because it's incredible to see. Now that I know more about it, it's really special.
Yes.
But then when you get this age, it switches. Now I'm motivated by them. So me
Yeah.
being
Wow.
around them, it keeps me like, okay, I gotta stay in shape. Especially like me watching her like work out, stuff like that, and like, and he motivated me in his own way. I mean, they all have their strength. But I'm motivated by my children. That's what motivates me the
Yeah.
most. Hopefully, this year, God's willing, he gets back on his grind. Because that's was something that we had. We went everywhere, Boston, everywhere training. Let's go.
Yeah.
And we just enjoy that, and we kind of missed out a little. So hopefully,
Yeah, he wanted to do a again the cycling challenge. He wanted to do 24 hours. How many miles he can do on a bike. I had to talk him out of it. So our like agreement was this year, because that's like been a goal of mine too, and just like again getting into my own ways, just being young and dumb and doing stupid shit, and then also just like not prioritizing myself,
Mhm.
helping others while I'm putting myself last and telling them to do one thing and I'm doing the complete opposite. And that's been kind of my thing for the past few years. So just finally trying to flip that switch and prioritize myself and make myself first, and get it back in there and get back in the cage, because that's like the best experience ever. I like love it. It's home for sure. It's like when I'm at my happiest.
Well, we definitely
for sure,
want to be there when you're back
for
in.
sure, for
We'll be
sure.
there to
So
support. That's fun.
we've always had a goal of being on the same card together. So he's gonna end up playing, and then I'll end up playing the same night. Yeah,
I told you, bro.
It'd be the
They'd
same
have
night.
seasons.
Yeah.
They'd have multiple seasons.
I think we should do our first one with them.
Yeah,
Oh, we
that would
love
be
it. We love
incredible.
it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Doors-
Joey's been
doors are
everywhere
always
too,
open.
from like Vegas. I mean, he's met like everybody when it comes to MMA.
Yeah.
I'm doing it to touch it, tell to Randy Couture's gym and
In Vegas.
You're bringing them to Randy's
Yeah,
No,
Couture's
he
gym?
already did. He already
Oh,
did this
really?
back in the day.
Wow.
Way
When he was
back in the
training,
day,
gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, in our gym, we had literally had pictures of like everybody that was anybody, like all in our
Back in
gym,
the day, yeah.
like
Painted
we
like
had met.
murals all
That's
over the
awesome.
place.
It's crazy. It
That
was
is
crazy. I mean,
incredible.
and you can imagine
Yeah.
as being a person to rent the cages. At one point, it was every weekend, twice. It was brutal.
Yeah.
We'd
I
have,
used to
we'd
hate
have,
it.
no,
Really?
literally,
I used
we'd
to
have like
hate
a
it
truck in
because every
Atlantic
weekend.
City, and then we'd have to be in Mansfield
So
the next day.
you were
It's
with a
nuts.
whole bunch of different fight organizations.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone that was around here pretty much.
Up until maybe what, like you sold your cage 10 years ago, 12 years ago maybe.
Wow, just
Everything.
barely.
Yeah.
So
and
you
up
made
until
your
that point.
so you made the initial investment back,
Oh yeah.
plus more.
Yeah.
Well, he
So you
continued
turned
to
into
buy
a
some.
bit-
He
you turned
continued,
into a
he continued
business.
to buy some. So he
He
had
turned into
three
a
at one
legitimate
point.
business.
So he had
Yeah,
he had
because
a,
he had that as the gym, and then the
Yeah.
gym was overhead, and the cages was
Mhm.
making really good money, and the gym was losing money.
Yeah.
And then we eliminated the gym, and it was just the cages, and then just storing them,
Yeah.
but then it just becomes like the problem that he always had too was just unreliable guys too. Like the only reliable one would have been like me and Donnell that like could be
Family,
there.
yeah.
I was like probably 12 at the time, so what am I really doing? I'm not putting a cage on my back.
Yeah.
So it's like my uncle could come along. He'd have a couple of his buddies that he calls, but again, it's bulwark. So like when everyone starts to exit that arena at 2 a.m. because the fights just ended, we're putting on our boots and get ready to carry the cage. And it's like, because we're not leaving. Like everyone else going to the bar to go have some drinks and have some fun. We're going and take down the cage and put it into a U-Haul and drive 3 hours back to wherever we're coming from. So it's hard to find work like that. So
Yeah.
that's going to come and be willing to do that. So
Mhm.
it was so inconsistent. Sometimes you're
It's
doing
tough.
the cage with him and one other guy. So yeah,
I know
tough
that's a lot of work. I've seen them
Lot
get
of
put up
work.
and put
Yeah.
down. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah.
hmm
Oh yeah.
Definitely need like a team to do it for sure. At least
And
at
then
least a 4
after
crew
then
guy.
having always deal with the people like with the getting paid
With the checks.
afterwards,
Because they know
Oh,
he's
man,
so
really?
Mr.
Trying
Nice
to get-
guy, Mr.
That's,
Yeah.
That would
Oh,
drive me
oh, yeah,
freaking
all the
nuts.
time.
bro,
All the
it-
time.
a mission.
Yeah.
Just
Really?
That's not
exactly
cool.
what you would
That's
expect
too bad.
in that environment
Yes.
is what it was.
Yeah.
Everyone's
but-
lined up to get their checks. The fighters, boom, boom, check, boom, boom, check. Oh, Joe, I'll have yours. You come by my office next week. I'll have it for you thing.
right.
It's a story. Oh, I'm not there today, but you can come next week. I'll be there thing.
And you already
So-
remember what he said about asking for money. And
Yeah.
stuff, you
Yeah.
know?
Then it turns into
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And the amount of tickets that he gave out in terms of letting, like, I don't know how many people probably experienced their first fight just because of Joey.
Yeah.
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 Just,
Like,
Oh yeah.
just because of Joey.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow.
Never
Wow.
even knew that there was cage fighting, and
Wow.
and oh, you want to see a fight? Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yep.
it's crazy.
Well, guys, I appreciate you guys
Oh, of
coming in.
course, we appreciate
We had a
it.
blast.
Yeah.
This is really a good
We
time.
knew it was gonna be this amazing.
Yeah,
though.
Loved it. Loved it.
Thank you for
I'll keep you
having
guys
us.
posted on the next thing that we're
Oh, yeah.
doing. We'll follow you guys
Oh,
around for the day. I
100%.
think that would be a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
I
I
know
love
this
that.
was a closeout for us, but what do you guys have planned for your year?
We are definitely loaded, and we've got both guns loaded. We're going
Yeah.
forward with creating a couple more businesses,
I love
but
that.
we like the social media, the marketing, that
Mhm.
aspect. So that's one business that we're creating. We want to help other smaller businesses that don't have a social media
Yeah.
presence
Yeah.
and help them grow and
Smart.
create
It's awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of
Yeah.
many. And then we have
Yeah.
Horizon HVAC, which is in your grab bags. There's a couple of brochures. So basically, if you just write your name on the back of it, you get 8% commission for that. Just anyone you know that needs heating or cooling.
Oh, wow, nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a
And
little
You can actually make
supplement
good
too.
money. We wrote a $2,500 check to one of our employees
Wow.
one week because they sold like 2 jobs
Oh wow.
and they were $22,000 jobs. So like anybody that you guys know that needs like new
Yeah.
AC or new heat,
We hear it all the
Um,
time.
if it's
you'll
a
be
20
surprised.
if it's a
It's a
$20,000
necessity.
job and we
I
make
just had
$8 grand
a
on it, you
client
guys
with
make
our
8%
water
on that.
heater just
Oh,
blew
wow.
yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's just
And we'll
like
happily
just
write that
random
check.
little things
Awesome.
clients will just tell you. So
That's
for
exactly.
sure, I'll keep you guys in mind.
Yeah, so there's a few in there, but it all obviously just make sure that they know
Perfect.
to tell us it's coming from you. That way we can keep track of that. And I mean, it's just you have to have heat and you have to.
Oh, yeah,
And then we
People are
yeah.
always talking about that in the gym. I've
Yeah.
had 2 of my clients in the last, like, let's just say, like, this summer, I'll say, that had to get their ACs done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I got involved in the business. I mean,
Yeah.
I love creating businesses. That's
Yeah.
like my thing.
Mhm.
I can start a business from nothing with no investment or nothing and get it to a point where it's valuable.
Yeah.
So when I was approached about this business, I'm like, okay, this is a need. It's not a want. Like
Mhm.
I had a construction company and we did bathrooms, we did kitchens and stuff, but that's like, okay, honey, can I do it this year?
Yeah.
You know, but like when your heat goes down, it's not, you know,
Mhm.
you'll refine,
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
find that money. You have
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
You know, so we offer like financing programs. We do a whole bunch of stuff to help them do it. But that was why I got involved in that business. Like that's something that I'll have all year
Oh,
round.
yeah.
And then recently I kind of adjusted my construction company into mold remediation, water damage,
Yeah, it's good.
mitigation, restoration.
Yeah.
So like any flood damages, any
Mhm.
pipe bursts, stuff
Yeah.
like that. We go in, we deal with the insurance companies, we deal with the claim, make sure you guys get as much money as possible. Because these insurance companies will juice
They
you
don't
as
wanna
much as they
pay.
can. They're
They
not going
don't
to want
wanna
to pay.
Yeah.
So we get a professional on the phone. We help you get as much money as you possibly can, and you know, from start to finish, get you guys back in your home as
Perfect.
fast as possible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
and we got a
Fixer
lot of stuff
uppers.
going on, and you know, we just got a new spot in Pawtucket that it's a new warehouse with some offices. So we're making that our home
Nice.
base. So all of the different companies that I'm involved in, we're gonna have a central location to do everything, and
Nice.
we're hiring
Good.
project managers right now.
That's awesome.
We're it's gonna be a
Rolling.
good year. We're
Good.
rolling. Like I said, we're on green right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're
I
on
would
green.
love to hear more of your
Yeah.
about how you guys use the red, green, yellow. That sounds pretty
Yeah.
dope.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, all in good time. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it when it's go time. It's go
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
You
Right.
know what I mean? You know.
Yeah. Oh,
But,
I'll get burnt out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's gonna come a point where it's
Right.
like, all right, let's take some time off.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, there's a number that I want to get to, and once I get that number, then you know, I don't need to get greedy and get more and more and more. I want more and more and
Yeah.
more.
Right.
I want to get to a point where I can put some money into an investment account that creates me generational wealth, that
Yeah.
creates revenue from different. You know, I want revenue from different streams. Once I have that in place, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
You know?
Good.
plus
But-
we have 5 kids together, so
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
we have a lot of college
Yeah,
bills
yeah, oh,
and a
yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
this and that.
Oh
But
yeah.
Yeah.
it's fun because as we meet
Mm.
more beautiful families in Rhode
Yeah,
Island that have the same mentality as us,
Yeah.
it's gonna help us implement,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
implement that in our
Exactly.
family
100%.
life.
And
too.
this is so much fun for us.
Yeah.
The-
I bet.
you know,
Mhm.
like meeting different people from Rhode Island. Like I had this thing when I told her, she's like, "What's your goal with this?" I said, I want to know everybody in Rhode Island that is doing something, that has a mindset of winning, that wants to
Mhm.
come together and like form this network that we can all have if we all know what our strong points are. I want to start with Rhode Island. I want to branch off Mass, and then I want to do New Hampshire, and then I want to. So like we're doing a good job with Rhode Island. We're getting a lot of
Absolutely.
you know
Mhm.
awesome
Fun.
people on, and we're
Some
getting
incredible people
we're getting
on.
to know them. We're getting to form relationships with them, and
Mhm.
you know,
That's the best.
95% of the people that have been on, we are friends with now. We're
Yeah.
texting every day.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Right.
about the views. It wasn't
Yeah.
about anything else.
Yeah.
It's about
Connection.
connecting.
We're getting them because I
Yeah.
think, you know, we have a very unique platform where we can showcase the people that are coming on
Mhm.
Right.
and tell the story about them. So
I love it so much because I'm originally from California, and so Rhode Island's brand new to me.
Yeah.
He knows everybody, but so for me, social media has been my way of researching, seeing who's who, but the podcast has been humanizing everybody. And I really, I love it because social media can be false in some ways. You do see people that post this one life and then you meet them and that's not what they're about. So it's beautiful. I love every single person we've met in Rhode Island. You guys, the Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New England, all the vibes are strong. You guys are really community based.
What you guys think about
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
TikTok going out?
I mean, that's big for a lot of people.
It's big. It's huge. I mean, it could be huge though at the same time.
I think they're gonna have to do a spin-off and everyone's gonna have to.
They've already been. I think Lemon is the new one.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I downloaded that.
So I said that in the truck.
I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was new. I knew it was coming.
We were training this morning, and when we got out of the gym, I said to the boys, I said, guys, get ready and let us know what everybody's using next, and let's take advantage of it. Let's start, because you hear a lot all the time. Oh, if I would have started TikTok, when it first came out, or I did start TikTok when it first came out, and I have, so like. This is an opportunity. I think Kevin O'Leary's trying to purchase TikTok. I know that there's still...
The CEO came out recently.
I think it was yesterday, right?
Yeah, he said, no, he's not selling it.
Wasn't it like $9.999 billion to buy TikTok from China?
No, it was $999 billion.
It's gonna be tough for a lot of influencers.
So like $1 trillion?
Influencers, that's where they were making all their money. That's literally where they were making all their money.
Yeah, I know.
Instagram doesn't really give that much to their influencers or to their users. It's honestly TikTok. The amount of money that was getting sent out to TikTokers.
Small businesses, that are gonna get wiped.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to do like a meeting with them to kind of just like go into the new year again, like clean slate. Like let's get this going and then hear all my ideas and all this stuff. And one of the main ones was to get a TikTok, and then I just saw TikTok.
You
scratched it off my list. I was like, oh well, there goes that.
I grew my TikTok to 35,000, but I slowed down a lot because Trump, his first run, he was talking about shutting down TikTok.
So
I knew this isn't a surprise. I kind of am still.
It's been kind of in the talks for literally like years
because
now.
so many people make money.
It's official
of it.
now.
I wonder if he'll bring it back. Questionable, but
he's trying to.
It'd be nice if he did. I'm sure it would gain him a lot more popularity.
Yeah,
they're trying to axe it before he gets inaugurated.
Because he does want to keep it.
January 19th is the date.
He does want to keep it.
He said, "Now that I have billions of views, I want to stay on TikTok."
Dude, it's the funniest. It's the funniest video. He goes, I ought to give this TikTok a try.
Right now, you're talking British to me because I have no idea if it's like
TikTok's supposed to be a Chinese-owned company that's supposed to take down it January 19th. It's supposed to be.
But I mean, it could be if they do have access to what they say they do.
Oh, it's a national security breach for sure.
It 100% is. I mean, you get manipulated every single day. These kids are like we were just talking about it.
And the phone.
100%. Every social media platform is an influence on people's lives.
What else, right? What else does somebody need to know, right? Like I know that they could get data, and I think it's more for the money. I think it's more corporate because a lot of people think it's like, oh, they're planning this. I think it's just for algorithm sakes, and they're making money from us. It's a corporate decision.
Way bigger than that.
I don't know. Like they have.
I mean that too, but also
it's a lot of
China is able to see location points of where a person is live, where a person posts.
We can do the same thing.
It's so much deeper than we can, but this is a little microscope.
I don't think we have any idea at like what these phones are really trying to figure out about us.
Yeah.
We won't know, but I know that it's so much more in depth than we can even like ever fathom.
Of course. Because like even like these drones, like, they've been talking about gravital and compulsion. What is it called?
Gravity compulsion.
Yeah, they've been talking about that since that guy, what's his name, was in Area 51. They've been talking about this for 20 years, and now it's finally starting to come out. But that's what they say about the government is like the technology that they have is usually about 20 years advanced than what we know. So
until they tell the public,
right?
I think that the main thing that TikTok or anything is designed to do is to keep you there. So like what it's doing to do that is like the ultimate objective of the thing is to keep you here scrolling, just to keep doing this.
Just the psychological
for these big corporations to buy or find out data about you that they can sell to a third party,
and so that they understand and know what to put in front of you. And like I even found out that on TikTok, like if me and her go to the same video, and then we click on the comments, the comments she sees
Will
are
be
based
first.
on her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
comments I
Mhm.
see will be based on me.
Yeah.
It's not even you don't even get to
Yeah.
see the everything is pretty much like designed to trick you.
Which is
into-
scary because they put computers in front of our children at school now
Mhm.
for 8 hours.
Yeah.
So it's going
Yeah.
another step deeper because they've already trained all the adults and
Yeah.
now they're penetrating our children.
Mhm.
It's so whack. I can't even start.
I think the craziest thing is like if we talk about saunas right now, when we go home,
Oh,
well,
it's the
saunas
video.
will
yes,
pop
the
up on
saunas,
Google.
the advertising.
Yeah,
That's
everywhere.
wild.
All the
Oh
time.
my
That-
all the
God,
time.
that's
it's
wild.
wild.
All the
Yeah,
time.
I remember when I used to say this was when this kind of stuff first
Yeah.
happened. I used to be
Before
like, yo, I'm
anything.
telling you, I said this and this happened.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And like things would happen, like I would like drive by. So I remember something happened to me. I drove by somebody. I drove by
And
them,
it
and
says
then I was like,
suggested friends.
oh.
I haven't seen her or heard about her in a long time.
And then when I
it was
pulled
the
up my
first
Instagram,
post as soon as
And I didn't say her
posted
name or
on.
anything. Her thing, and I don't even go on. I'm like, I don't even know I was friends with her.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's the first one to pop
Yep.
up.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
just like, so wait a minute, like what, like.
Mhm.
So weird.
People are here thinking, oh, this connection happened. I was thinking about this
Yeah.
person. I was talking
It's
about this person, and
designed.
then all of a sudden, looking on my Instagram,
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah,
match made in
universe.
heaven.
My
Yeah,
angel
like,
numbers are
Yeah,
popping up.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's like,
Oh,
it's like
man.
no, man, no,
Yeah.
like no,
The
Is
angel
this a
numbers. That's
sign?
funny.
Right.
Yeah.
right. It's like it's wild. It is. It's deep.
Yeah, we got to be careful. This is going to be an interesting year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
Interesting year, but
Right.
Thank you guys
Sure.
very much.
Thank you.
for
Yeah.
taking
Thank
time
you.
out of your
Thank
busy
you.
life
Thank
you. Yes,
schedules.
thank you,
It
guys.
means the world to
you
us.
guys,
pleasure.
are
Yeah.
a blessing to have
Thank you.
having
Oh,
around.
thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Likewise. You guys got something good
Sure.
here.
Yeah, thanks.
And it
Thank
is
you.
true what you said about meeting people and connections and
Yeah.
all of that.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah, because not everybody knows everybody either, and so
Mhm.
by checking out the podcast, you
Yeah.
get to this person's here, that
Yeah.
person's there. I didn't even know this person was in the state.
Mhm.
You know, it is great.
Fortunate enough to again
Mhm.
humanize them. Like
Yeah,
you get to think. That's
it's
what I love
fun.
about podcasts. You get to, it's like so again, you're having a conversation. There's just a couple mics in the room. That's really all it is.
That's
It's just-
Yeah,
That's
that's why
authentic as it gets.
That's why I'm
yeah.
excited about the fight companions. Like,
Yeah.
where I'm going to bring in
That's
just
gonna be fun.
that's
Oh,
going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to go live on YouTube too.
Greg's
so
gonna
like,
be a riot on that.
Yeah.
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Definitely.
He's so
Great.
funny.
yeah.
And if you want to get Mike Gresh, oh my God, that'd be good. You get
Oh,
Mike
Yeah, for
Gresh,
sure.
you get Greg together, forget it.
Yeah, any guests that you guys think would be a good fit for
Yeah.
come on here? I'm down to talk to anybody.
Sounds
I
Well,
love getting to know people.
Greg probably reach Mike Gresh. He's busy, but if you can get them
Great.
two together, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
there's
you
some
ever
And
good
Coach
people.
Vic. Oh no,
If you're ever
Coach
doing
Vic,
a fight companion and you need a couple guests, we'll definitely think. Well,
Absolutely.
actually, never mind. He'll fall asleep on you. He'll knock out. He'll be watching the fights with us. We'll look over. He'll be one of the worst guests on a fight companion.
Yeah, that's why I got videos
Yeah.
of you.
They go so
Yeah.
freaking late now, though. That's the
Yeah.
thing. They go till
Yes.
1 o'clock, 1:30 in
I
the
can't be
morning.
Listen,
bothered.
I get up like him. So by the end of the day at that time, I'm
Yeah,
beat.
I know.
I'm beat.
Oh man, are you
Working
kidding
all
me?
day.
Last night,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm beat.
Yeah.
But I still wake up to watch the main event.
Yeah.
I might sleep on a couple of ones.
Yeah.
Just goes off.
It's tough too with them because you can't even go back and watch it the next day. You gotta
Yeah.
hire it, and those
Mhm.
get shut down all the time.
Sucks,
But-
bro.
all right, guys,
Yeah.
thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming
Bring it
on.
back to the
Thank you.
babies.
Thank you.